And every afternoon game, Ainsworth has had to come from behind with victories over EPPJ and over St. Mary's in afternoon ball games. And here we are, another afternoon ball game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and you're going to see depth be a factor with as warm as it is. Cramping might be an issue.
Right.
The kids the last few weeks have been in much cooler temperatures, so being back and playing on a warmer field today, it's going to test probably the depth of both of these teams. But Ainsworth, a little bit of a deeper roster than the Loomis Wolves, but tell you what, Loomis has some kids that can play, and another one of those teams, Cody, that passed the eye test when you just look at them warming up.
Big boys. Hey, it is our Buckles Automotive pregame show. October is Fall Car Care Month, and prices are falling at Buckles Automotive, your Napa store in Ainsworth. They have everything you need to get your car, pickup, ATV, trucks, and tractors ready for winter. RVs and living quarter trailers, too. Napa Antifreeze and Coolant is on sale. Orange, green, and heavy duty. It's a great time to stock up on Napa Premium Conventional and Synthetic Motor Oil, Thermal Aid, diesel fuel additives, starting fluid, and more. Like it or not, winter is just around the corner. Be ready with Buckles Automotive, your Napa store, Main Street in Ainsworth. Well, Greg, let's take a look at the number 14 seed, 3-5 Loomis. Kind of a balanced attack, maybe a little bit more on the rushing side of things, but still throwing up some good yardage through the air.
And as you heard Coach B say, they have made a quarterback change midway through the season. They had Gunnar Hadley move from running back to quarterback to start this year, and then he got a little banged up in a game, and so they moved Clay Meyer, another senior, into that quarterback spot, and that's kind of stuck. Now, Clay is a bigger kid. He's listed at 210 pounds, so he's kind of a load back there at the quarterback spot, and they move Hadley, who's more of the speedster at 170 pounds or so. They move him back to a running back spot, but that's a good 1-2 punch for Coach Spies as Hadley on the season. You look at it, Hadley's run for 586 yards. He has 3 games where he's gone over 100 yards and has scored 7 touchdowns. And Meyer has run for 431 yards. He's had a couple games where he's over 100 yards rushing. They touch the football. So that's a pretty good 1-2 punch in seniors for this Loomis Wolves team. But as you mentioned, they do throw the ball. Tell you what, Clay Meyer's completing a high percentage. They are efficient. When they throw the football, Meyer completes it at about 73%, and he is thrown for 4 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. But he is averaging really about 21 yards of completion on the season. So when they do pass the ball, they are efficient, and they get pretty big chunk plays when they do so.
And that's one thing that the Ainsworth Bulldogs have done throughout the end of this season, give up big chunk plays, as you heard Coach B say, and we know by bringing, they have 8 in the box. And it's just like, try running it on us and try making a big play on us. And at times it has happened, but Ainsworth has recovered. So, again, the big chunk plays could be there for the Loomis Wolves.
And then you look at Ainsworth on the offensive side. You want to talk about almost pure balance. When I called the Chambers-Wheeler Central game, Ainsworth had exactly, through 5 games, the same number of yards, or through 4 games at that time, had the same number of yards rushing as they did passing. That is a testament to the balance that they've had in using a couple of quarterbacks in Tragan McNally and Carter Nelson primarily, but this Bulldog team still very balanced on the season. They rush it for 190 yards per game, and they throw it for 188 yards per game. And both Carter Nelson and Tragan McNally, they're completing. Carter about 60% of his throws, and Tragan about 58% of his throws. Every time Tragan completes a pass, it's a 17-yard average, and Carter's about 14 yards every time he completes a pass. And they're actually their 2 favorite targets when the other ones at quarterback is Tragan and Carter. Receiving-wise, have both had solid seasons. Carter, 26 catches, 501 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And Tragan has caught 28 passes for 326 yards and 9 scores. And we saw 3 of those in that come-from-behind win over Elgin Public Pope John, with Carter delivering over the middle to McNally. That was really the dagger in that game that kept the Bulldogs undefeated. Coming back was the last 3 touchdowns scored were Nelson at quarterback completing passes to McNally. So a lot of they're varied. They can run it. They can run it to the outside. They'll also run it around that end, or off guard, off end, and then they can line up and throw it at you.
Yeah, like you said, very balanced. 28 touchdowns through the air, 26 on the ground for the Ainsworth Bulldogs this year in a high-scoring offense. Well, that's a check of our Buckles Automotive pregame show here on KBRB Ainsworth, Nebraska. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll take a look at our starting lineups right after these words. It is Class D2 opening round of the football playoffs from Ainsworth, Nebraska. 8-3 seed Ainsworth taking on 14 seed Loomis. Back with more in a moment.
Fontanelle, your game changer in the field. From local proven product recommendations to in-season advice to harvest insights, solutions you need, relationships you trust. Call Terry Kachera, your local Fontanelle representative today, 402-992-8391.
Go ahead and improve with Tim's Construction of Ainsworth. Additions, kitchens, bathrooms, roofing, drywall, window replacement, siding, even custom-built homes start to finish. Call Tim's Construction of Ainsworth for a free, no-obligation quote at 402-760-0162.
Rural health care from rural roots. Better health care for your family from clinical, obstetrical, emergency room to home care. Greater Sandhills Family Health Care with convenient locations in Bassett, Stewart, and Atkinson.
Nebraska beef, it's what's for dinner. Miles Feedlot, Mark and Haley Miles, are proud to support Ainsworth Community School students moving forward in academics, athletics, fine arts, and organization. Go Bulldogs!
Back here in Ainsworth, Nebraska at East City Park, a beautiful field. Joey Finley, an excellent job here putting this field up together. It looks like it did. I know it is not turf.
I asked him if the lines were straight today, and he gave me a thumbs up. So apparently he's got them lined up straight.
What a beautiful field. Well, still 7.5 minutes away from the start of this one for kickoff. But let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Three River Communications with the starting lineups. Here's Greg Kinsey.
Well, we'll start with the visitors, the 3-5 Loomis Wolves, the 14 seed in this D2 West bracket. The Wolves coached by Ty Spees, assisted by Clinton Anderson, Zach Sweet, and Eric Sweeney. They will start at the quarterback spot. Big kid, number 33, Clay Meyer. He's a 210-pound senior. Joining him in the backfield will be number 5, Clay Bohr. He is a 150-pound junior. And number 11, the feature back, Gunnar Hadley. He is a 175-pound senior. Also a freshman, Coy Meyer, number 12, 160 pounds. He will be on the end. And also in the starting lineup at wide receiver, number 18, Cale Nelson, a 170-pound junior. Your offensive line for Loomis at center is number 45, Zach Rademacher. Rademacher is a 210-pound junior. Number 66 at guard, Riggin Ludicky. Ludicky is a 260-pound junior. And number 68 at guard, Gavin Norris. He is a 200-pound sophomore. That's your starting lineup for the Loomis Wolves.
Ultra fast speeds at amazing prices. Three River Communication is investing in bringing communities together with fiber right to your home and business. With offices in O'Neill, Ainsworth, Lynch, and Springview, their staff is local and ready to serve you. Three River Fiber Internet has unmatched reliability, ultra fast upload and download speeds, along with unlimited usage. Go to 3river.net and get started. Three River Communications, your local broadband leader.
Now the starting lineup for the 8-0 Ainsworth Bulldogs, the 3 seed in the West bracket before they do the reshuffle after one round of the D2 playoffs. The Bulldogs coached by Jesse Owen, assisted by Jake Nelson, Kirk Peterson, Clint Painter, and Brian Delamont. The Bulldogs will start, could see at quarterback both number 8, Tragan McNally. He is a 150-pound junior, and number 22, Carter Nelson, 210 pounds, and a junior. They will line up at wideouts when the other is at quarterback. In the backfield will be Riggin. Looks like trying to see in the backfield for the Bulldogs. They've got number 5, Owen Blumenstock. He is a 160-pound sophomore. Also starting number 11, Riggin Blumenstock. He is a 190-pound junior. You could see Jacob Held, number 34 in the backfield. He's a 150-pound sophomore. And Cody, in uniform today is sophomore Morgan Kinney, number 21. He's a 150-pound back, and he is in uniform this afternoon after he got banged up in that win over Boyd County last week, so we'll have to see his availability in this one. On the offensive line for the Bulldogs, at center is number 69, Ian Finley. He is a 235-pound senior. We'll also see at the end number 55, Trey Appelt, a 200-pound junior at tight end. Also on the line, number 7, Landon Holloway, 160 pounds and a senior. And number 42, Arian Gucci. He is a 180-pound junior. Your starters for the Ainsworth Bulldogs. Of course, they will go with some different starters here and there, so you'll see 10, 11 different kids on the field on the offensive side.
Yeah, and you may see that
Bulldogs.
on the defensive side for both things here, but those are your offensive starters. Starting lineups brought to you by Three River, your area telecommunication and technology leader. Well, Greg, I believe you saw the coin toss.
Ainsworth did win the coin toss and elected to receive. So the Bulldogs want the football. They will be going from west to east in this opening quarter, from right to left, as we call it here at East City Park. The Bulldogs in their red uniforms with the white numbers and letters and the black pants. The Wolves in their white road uniforms with the green numbers and letters and green pants. They're ready for the national anthem, so we'll take a break. Come back. We'll be ready for kickoff here from East City Park, playoff football on KBRB.
Of doctors caring for families. There is nothing more important than your family's health. That's why at Avera St. Anthony's Hospital in O'Neill, they make it their goal to provide you with comprehensive quality care every day. Avera St. Anthony's Hospital in O'Neill, Nebraska. Look no further.
And we're back here on KBRB, FM 92.7, the web, kbrb.net. I'm Kotaguchi. Greg Kinsey joining us here for an afternoon D2 football playoff game. The undefeated number 3 seed Ainsworth Bulldogs against the 14th seed 3 and 5 Loomis Wolves. We take a look at some keys to the ball game brought to you by Ainsworth Motors.
Well, you take a look at it, Cody. There's a few things in this one. First of all, on the Ainsworth side, turnovers. In a couple of their big games against EPPJ and St. Mary's, they dug themselves first half holes with turnovers. They had 3 turnovers in the first half in both those games and really had to play from behind, and it's a testament that they never really got frustrated and just continued to make plays to make those comebacks. But you get to this time of the year and that pressure just mounts if you fall behind. The other thing is an 8-0 team playing a 3-5 team. You want to get off to a good start. You want to jump on a team early and hope that maybe they fold and say, oh, well, this 8-0 team is for real. And so look for Ainsworth if they can score early and get a lead quickly to try to kind of lean on this Loomis team. For the Wolves, I think they're going to need to see some big plays in the passing game early.
Balanced attack, go run. Yep. Don't go heavy on one side or the other. Yeah.
To try to soften up this downhill, aggressive Ainsworth defense, if they can get some play action hits and some chunk plays early in the passing game, that will probably keep those linebackers for Ainsworth from playing downhill quite as much as they typically do. So for Loomis, it's get some big plays in the passing game early to maybe set up that running game, as they like to try to be balanced, as does Ainsworth. So, and for Loomis, try to extend this into a 4-quarter game. Shorten the possessions. If you can take some time off the clock running it, or some long possessions, that's what you want to do if you're a 3-5 team on the road against an 8-0 squad. Just take a couple of possessions away by holding on to the football. So it will be Loomis kicking away from east to west, from left to right as we see it. Bulldogs won the coin toss and elected to receive. So glad to have you along with us. And with the call of this playoff football game, it's Cody Gucci.
Yeah, we're going to have number 33, Clay Meyer, the 210-pound do-it-all guy, the senior, getting ready to boot this one away. He's going to kick it towards the sun. Of course, the football field running east-west. Loomis will go east-west. Ainsworth will go west-east, and that is left to right for Loomis, right to left for the Bulldogs. Ainsworth will send back McNally as well as Owen Blue. Blumenstock at about the goal line. And this first kick is going to be put away. A beautiful kick, and that was going to go over the head of McNally to be a touchback. That's into a 9-mile-per-hour wind. Greg, game time temperature 77 degrees with a west wind at 9 miles per hour here at East City Park.
Feels more like early September football than it does mid to late October playoff football, but we'll get our first look at the Bulldog offense.
Well, we do see a big guy, too, running up on the nose. It looks like number 66, Regan Ludicky, 260-pound junior at the nose. Ainsworth looks like they're going to come out with McNally at quarterback in pistol formation. He'll have Regan Blumenstock on his left hip. Carter Nelson split to the right side. He'll come in motion from right to left. They're going to go with McNally off to the right side. He has a lead block. He has 5. He has 10. He has 15, 20. And he's going to be brought down about the 40-yard line, about a 35-yard pickup, or 30-yard pickup.
Big gain from the 15 into Loomis territory. That'll go for about 28 yards on the simple sweep. Just kind of faked the jet sweep to Nelson. That drew the linebackers kind of moving to their right. And just a simple quarterback lead play as they sent Blumenstock out as a lead blocker. He was able to kick out the defensive back. 28 for McNally and a first down.
Empty backfield, twins to the left for McNally. McNally looking to go back to pass. Looking. He'll throw into the hands of Appelt. Appelt's at the 30, the 25, looking for a block. 20 down to the 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. No, he did not step out of bounds. Boy, what a tightrope.
Yes, he walked the sidelines and a great block downfield, Cody, from Owen Blumenstock. He shielded off the last line of defense. Appelt on just a little crossing route to the outside. Caught that turned up field. His initial defender took a poor angle. Trey was able to get past him, and then a fantastic block downfield by Owen Blumenstock. Let Trey get that last 15 yards, and boy, he was just tight-roping that sideline.
Let's go for 37 yards on the pass and catch. Maybe the cross-country in the last 2 years got him into the end zone there. Empty backfield here. Carter Nelson at quarterback. And looks like they're going to draw the defense offside, so it's going to be a try now from the 1.5 instead of the 3. What a great block on the outside. You know, they've only used Appelt. He had 4 catches for 4 touchdowns in 4 games. Since then, he's only totaled 8 catches on the year, and he gets a big one there.
Well, they use him there, and 2 plays, 65 yards, and Nelson straight off the left side of the center. Takes it in for 2. Those 2-point conversions, as we know in 8-man football and in the playoffs, especially in big games, so important. And what an impressive start for the Ainsworth Bulldogs. 8-0 in 2 plays. The Dogs go 65 yards. And Cody, this is exactly, if you're Ainsworth, how you want to start a game, which is why I assume they wanted the football to say, hey, we're for real. And in 2 plays, they come out and come out swinging. And so now for Loomis, do you get that question mark in the back of your head that, oh boy, we just gave up a 2-play score, but
I don't think so.
We'll let them go to work. So we'll take a break, come back, and we'll have more playoff football. Bulldogs in the lead.
Vero Wireless is your one-stop shopping destination for all of your communication needs. Whether you're looking for cell phones, accessories, home internet service, or home phone service, Vero has you covered with the lowest rates and the best coverage in the industry. Stop on down at our store corner of Highway 20 in Main and Ainsworth. Vero Wireless, we are where you are.
11:26 to go here in the first quarter. Angels get ready to kick. It'll be Carter Nelson. He'll have a little bit of a northwest wind behind him. It looks like, I'm trying to see who that number is back there. I can't tell. It looks like maybe number 11. I would expect Gunnar Hadley back there about his 3-yard line to return this one for the Loomis Wolves. Greg, I tell you what, I'm sure this team has been down before, and I wouldn't look for them to turn the heat right back on when they get a chance for the ball. Nelson, just a 3-yard drop back kick into the end zone. That is a touchback. That was actually number 18, Cale Nelson, catching that one in the end zone.
Well, we will see our first look at the Loomis Wolves offense. Again, they average about 180 yards a game on the ground, about 100 yards a game through the air, and they've got a big quarterback, Clay Meyer. He's a load, so for Ainsworth, it's going to be about sure tackling and making sure they don't go up too high on that big fella, and the scat back, the tailback Gunnar Hadley.
All right, here it is. It's an I formation, an 8-man option play coming up. Going to kick it onto the outside. Hadley going to step out of bounds about the 15, maybe. Yeah, right on the 15. No gain on the first play on an option play, but I do believe that's kind of setting something up there, Greg. They kind of delayed it there. I did see during warm-ups how they ran a tight end kind of across the seam on an actual play like that, too. But good start for the defense for the Dogs.
Well, the Bulldogs played that perfectly. Trey Appelt's assignment was the quarterback. He came up and forced the pitch, and there were not 1 but 2 Bulldogs out there on the pitch man, and Jacob Held and Carter Nelson, so no gain, 2nd and 10.
Four split left, Hadley split to the right. Hadley now in motion from right to left. They'll go with the trap kind of play. On the outside, he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Is that on the outside, Regan Blumenstock making this hit.
Jacob held in there to help it out. The Jets sweep to get their speed involved. Gunnar Hadley and the Bulldogs just set the edge. Regan Blumenstock did not allow Hadley any room to either get outside or to try to turn it upfield, and then flowed nicely to the football. That's a loss of 2, and it's 3rd and 12.
Split to the right is Nelson. Can't see who's to the left. Actually trips to the right now. Empty backfield for Clay Meyer, the senior quarterback. Ainsworth looks to bring a little bit of heat. Now they'll set back. Looking to throw this one up in the air, and it is underthrown. Is it intercepted? No, it's incomplete. And then after it bounced, it went into the hands of Cale Nelson. But the official right there, I saw it skip, and I thought, well, if they give anything, it's going to be an interception. But Cale Nelson had a chance at it. It's incomplete. 4th down, Greg.
Yeah, a little underthrown into the wind. Tragan McNally was right there in coverage. Bulldogs pretty good coverage there on 3rd and long, and Loomis is going to have a 3 and out.
Looks like Meyer getting ready to punt it away. McNally getting ready to receive this one. This one is actually going to go out of play about the Ainsworth 35 or 6 yard line. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how far they mark it off. It's probably going to be midfield or so by the time they step this one off.
It is going to be
now
right
they've
at
got
the
to
37.
midfield and backed up. So not a bad punt. Took McNally out of play as a returner, and so the Bulldogs, after a 3 and out and an 8-0 lead, they get the football back in great field position at their 37-yard line.
Yeah, Ainsworth 2 plays, 65 yards, and a 37-yard touchdown pass from McNally to Appelt. Now Ainsworth gets their 2nd possession of the ball game. Split to left now will be McNally. It will be Carter Nelson at quarterback. Jacob Held actually at quarterback. Going to go with Nelson on a block on the outside. Held finds a little bit of a gap before he's knocked out of bounds. We'll see where he's knocked out of bounds. It looks like maybe about a 5-yard gain, Greg.
Wow, did Carter just erase the linebacker, Coy Meyer, the freshman. He's their leading tackler on the season, about 11 tackles a game for the freshman, but he went out and got absolutely pummeled by Carter Nelson around the corner, and it'll lead to about a gain of, 6, it looks like, for Jacob Held as they direct snapped it to him.
2nd and 4, Ainsworth into Wolves territory at the 37-yard line. Twins left, empty backfield for Carter Nelson. Carter going to look to keep it. He's going to go up the middle, hurdles one guy, and a good tackle coming from the safety spot, number 5. Clay Bohr will keep Ainsworth to a 3rd down.
Yeah, Carter still, though, using that 6'5 frame to dive forward for an extra yard or so. It's going to be 3rd and a short 2 on Carter's first carry for a couple. A long 1, short 2. They're inside the 35. They need the 33.
Ainsworth will go kind of with a tight formation, double wings on the right side for Carter Nelson. He'll look to keep. Now he's looking to pass. The pass is going to be thrown away. It was an intended pass, and they sniffed that out. Did the Wolves? It was an intended pass for McNally.
Oh, they're going to try to call grounding, Cody, but this is the new rule. He was outside the pocket. He got it past the line of scrimmage.
And he was
this
throwing
should
it to
not be
McNally.
intentional grounding. Oh, we've got a personal foul on the Bulldogs. I did not see that, Cody. It was back where Nelson threw the football. I am not sure. There were 2 guys right on Carter immediately, and really he was outside the
Carter
pocket.
like he threw a forearm to somebody. I'm not quite for sure. We'll see if the coaching staff heard anything for us, but I believe that might have been on Nelson. But with that, instead of 4th down and a yard, that will be. Oh, it is. It was after.
Call it after the play.
After the play, so
15-yard penalty will put the Bulldogs into punting formation.
No, so Ainsworth will run some new guys in and out here because it is 4th down, not 3rd down.
So Nelson will be in punt formation, and a good stop for the Wolves. High
punt. Watching this go over his head is Gunnar Hadley. Hits about the 2, the 1. Ainsworth, are they going to get it down? They will about the 5. Boy, that took a punter's bounce, and Ainsworth kind of watched it bounce a little bit more.
That was like a Cody Gucci sand wedge from about 100 yards that hit and spun. So that's
I don't know about 100.
Bounced at the 2 and back to the 5-yard line. Excellent punt from Nelson after the long penalty. So he helped kind of make up for that penalty that was called, and it'll back up the Wolves at their own 5.
Yeah, kind of a different play where, Ainsworth, they probably thought, they're going to run, but they sniffed out a double team on McNally. Great play. Split out to the right side is going to be Cale Nelson for Loomis. They have also one split to the left. Quarterback is Clay Meyer. Meyer will send in motion Gunnar Hadley, and keeping it will be the quarterback, and he is going to be 8 up at the line of scrimmage, but they're going to say forward progress, going to give him 2 yards.
Yeah, it was Carter Nelson in there, Jacob Held in there, just not much room in the running game. They are going to give him, again, he's a big kid, is Meyer, and he's going to move forward for about 3 yards
we'll
or so.
Three.
We'll
about
give
17
him,
and a half, 18, we'll give him 3. You know, one of my keys we didn't get to is Ainsworth penalties. They have been penalized big in the last 3 games. Second down, we'll call it 7. Twins to the right, tied on the left side. It's a pistol formation for Clay Meyer. Meyer looking for a block. He has one. He'll try to battle forward. He's going to get to, again, forward progress. I thought they had him at the 10, but they're going to forward progress him all the way to the 11.
Yeah, gain of another, about 3 or 4 yards. We'll call that a gain of 4, and it's going to set up 3rd and a long 3 for the Wolves. So now they're just
here, though, for the
running
Wolves.
straight ahead with Clay Meyer, the big, he's 210 pounds as a quarterback, and so he's just kind of trying to get some forward momentum, keeping the legs churning and seeing what he can get, seeing if they can churn out a first down or two.
Sorry, I haven't been telling you the score. 8:40 to go here in the first quarter. Ainsworth 8, Loomis Wolves 0. 8-0, Ainsworth leads. They scored on their first possession. This is going to be a pitch out to the left side. Ainsworth is going to eat up Landon Holloway. Will eat up the running back, number 12, Coy Meyer, as he's tackled at the 10.
Yeah, excellent play for Holloway, and a good job by Carter Nelson as well. Carter just jumped that lead blocker outside and stuffed that to where there was no way for Meyer to try to bounce it, and then Landon Holloway, nice job scraping down the line, so a loss of 2.
Didn't want to jump there. Punt away. Good punt. As it'll be McNally at the 35, the 40s into their territory at the 30, maybe runs out of bounds about the 28. We'll see where he ran out of bounds at.
Boy, Cody, the Ainsworth defense has been smothering so far in the running game. They have 5 rushes for a total of 3 yards and misfired on their only pass. And the Bulldogs, again, in great field position at the 28-yard line. That's a return of about 22 for Tragan McNally, fielding that on the run at the 30-yard line of the Bulldogs. And excellent return up the right side.
8:01 to go in the first quarter. Ainsworth 8, Loomis 0. Ainsworth first down to 10 from the Loomis 27-yard line. Carter Nelson looking for a block on the left side. Great tackle by number 12, Coy Meyer. That time, Riggin Blumenstock, 99 out of 100 times makes that block.
That's Coy Meyer, the freshman, Cody. He's their leading tackler. He just fought off the block from Riggin and then went right in around the knees of Carter, wrapped him up, and you can't move forward if you can't get your legs apart.
Great
and that's
play.
exactly what Coy did. No gain on the play for Carter, but that's all Coy Meyer. He had to fight. There was a blocker there for him. He just fought it off and made a play.
So I'll bring up second down and 10 for the Ainsworth Bulldogs again on the Loomis Wolves 27-yard line. You know what? Their defense has stepped it up the last possession, and now here it is McNally back at quarterback here. He has off to the right side Carter Nelson by himself. He's just going to throw it towards the end zone, and there's a lot of contact. No call, but Carter Nelson makes a great play for a touchdown. I tell you what, Gunnar Hadley did everything he could to keep Carter Nelson.
Almost
tackled him, and Nelson kept his feet, caught it, 27-yard touchdown. McNally to Nelson. Ainsworth up 14-0. 7:11 to go, first quarter.
Great throw, Cody, from McNally, and it looked like it was going to overthrow Carter because there was a lot of contact about the 5 or 6 yard line. Carter was able to keep his feet, and on a dive just stretched out that big frame and hauled that one in the end zone. And that's a really good play from Nelson after fighting off contact.
Carter Nelson trying to get to the outside to get this one punched in for 2, and he does. He uses that big body of his. He has 2 two-point runs and a receiving touchdown with 7:11 to go in the first quarter. It is Ainsworth 16, Loomis Wolves, Class D2 football playoff action here on KBRB, Ainsworth, Nebraska.
GrowVantage provides area farmers with elite products and services. For a proven yield advantage, visit with Brad Arns at GrowVantage, East Highway 20 Ainsworth. They're your local Pioneer Seed Agency, with you from the word go. Stretch your hay supply with Brad Fox Grinding. Grinding hay is one of the most efficient ways to feed hay or other forages to livestock. Brad Fox provides on-site forage and grain grinding service to those who wish to make the most efficient, economical use of their available feedstuffs. Call Brad Fox today to schedule a time to stop and grind. For reliable, dependable hay grinding service, call on Brad Fox Grinding of O'Neill. Phone 402-340-4038.
Well, Greg Kinsley, like you were talking about my wedge shot with that punt Nelson did. Nelson, it just showed what a guy can do if he can keep his feet stumbling and bumbling towards the end zone. He made a great catch.
Well, it was an excellent throw. McNally had time, first of all. Offensive line, a very good job giving him time. And Carter, just a simple go route down the sideline. And in one-on-one coverage, Ainsworth will take that matchup every time they see it. So for Loomis, you're you're going to probably have to try to roll a second defender Carter's way and at least try to make Ainsworth maybe not throw it toward him as much. They'll still throw it toward him even with a double team.
Right. He just made an exceptional catch, and here is Nelson to kick it off. Back there is Cale Nelson. He'll get this at the 1. He's now at the 5, the 10, looking for some blocks. He's got some room. And here's coming from behind. Ryan Salzman trips him up at the 31. If he does not make that tackle, you have Appelt who's standing about the 40, but Ainsworth over pursue, and that's a great return, a 30-yard kickoff return. That's what Loomis needed to get them fired up.
It was, Cody, and 3 Bulldogs just ran right past Cale Nelson as he brought that one into the middle. I don't know if they didn't identify where he was, but there were 3 Bulldogs all kind of spaced together, and when he got past them, you could just see the field open up. But really from behind, Ryan Salzman probably saved 10 to 15 yards or maybe a touchdown with that shoestring tackle running from behind.
Looks like it's going to be an empty backfield here for Clay Meyer, the 210-pound senior quarterback. He'll have twins to the right, 1 split to the left. Ainsworth has just 4 now in the box. Looks like they're playing a prevent defense here, and that's going to be the quarterback with the keeper, and he's going to run into a bunch of Bulldogs before the Bulldogs try stripping the ball. You know, I saw Clay Meyer lower the shoulder right there, and then another Bulldog and Landon Holloway say, here's one for you too, buddy. Boy, that is some hard-hitting football right now, and a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, and he did a nice job. He kind of gave a leg and took it away to Tragan McNally, who was out there on the edge, and then cut it inside. That gave him an extra couple. So it'll be second and a short 7, long 6 here for Loomis, down 16-0 midway through quarter number 1.
This is the furthest they've had the ball on the Bulldogs right now on their own 34-yard line. Quarterback going to look and go with the screen pass. Appel was going to pick that one off, and a great tackle. Was it a fumble?
It was, and I think they're going to say it was out of bounds before Carter Nelson picked it up.
So they get a pass, and then it's fumbled ahead 2 yards out of bounds.
I don't know in high school, can you fumble the ball
That's
forward
what the
out of
official
bounds?
did.
But they marked it, so it's going to be a gain of about 4 yards on the completion. But, yeah, they're going to call it a catch and a fumble. Who made that catch, Code?
I'm sorry. I thought it was number 18, Cale Nelson, out here to the right.
I
was looking at
I was watching the ball after the fumble
I did too.
to see if the Bulldogs were going to recover it before it went out of bounds. But the side official, Mr. Pebble here on the side, had a good view of it. So now 3rd and 4.
3rd down and 4 at their own 37-yard line. Clay Meyer. Long count, going to go with an option off to the left side. He's going to keep it ahead. He's going to get the first down for the first down, and he's trying to get more as Ainsworth trying to strip the ball. That's going to go for about 5, and that's into Ainsworth territory down around that 36-yard line. A nice little run for him from the 37 to Ainsworth 36.
Yeah, 7-yard gain and a first down. The first down of the game for Loomis, and it was the same way. The Bulldogs were stringing it out, and Riggin Blumenstock was forcing Meyer to go wide, but Meyer just decided to stick a foot in the ground and say, I got to get that yardage marker, and he got that and a couple more.
Just under 6 to go here in the first quarter. Ainsworth 16, Loomis nothing. But Loomis is pushing the ball here. Their first down of the football game. Empty backfield for Clay Meyer. They'll go with the man in motion. Going to go outside to the running back. Good outside block. And going to be a tackle after about an 8-yard gain. But I think we have a holding behind the line of scrimmage, as we do have a flag about 2 yards deep behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was right on the edge, Code. It allowed Hadley to get the corner. I think it was Trey Appelt got held.
Yeah, Appelt was held.
Yeah, right there on the end by either the guard or the tight end for Loomis, and that really allowed Hadley to get the corner. Somebody grabbed a hold of Trey's shoulder pad and completely spun him.
So that was 2 yards deep, so that should bring up a replay of first down, and that'll be first down about 22, Greg, as that goes all the way back to the 32-yard line of the Loomis Wolves. Of course, holding is from the spot foul.
Yeah, 12-yard penalty on Loomis, so now they're behind the chains after they finally had a little momentum, and now 1st and 22. Again, in a 16-0 hole, you don't want to say it's that, it's critically important early like this, but it is a kind of an important drive for Loomis to try to get something established offensively, as so far the Bulldog offense has been rolling, so now in a 1st and 22 hole.
Cale Nelson split to the right side. Also, Rademacher now out to the right side split, as well as Coy Meyer. They're going to go back to pass. Going to go with the screen pass, and it is going to be knocked down by Appelt. That was behind the line of scrimmage, so he was able to go over the top of the intended target, Coy Meyer, on the screen play.
Cody, Trey read that so well. Everybody was boiling in on Meyer immediately. Trey stopped, located the running back, and yes, he was behind him, but he went up and made a play for the football. The running back was just kind of standing, waiting for the ball to get to him. Trey jumped up, did kind of climb over the back a little bit, but made a play on
Well,
the ball.
behind the line of scrimmage.
Knocked it away, and second and 22, but a good job by Appelt recognizing that screen.
Now they'll go with an I formation here. It will be Gunnar Hadley behind the quarterback. Clay Meyer, second down and 22 for the Wolves, down 16-0. Back to pass. Here comes Ainsworth with the pitch. Wide open on the left side for a touchdown will be Gunnar Hadley. That one, folks, will go for 48 yards. I told you, I saw that play coming. They let him go off the left side. Ainsworth defensive backs bit, and it is a touchdown. And with 5:27 to go in the first quarter, we're back to a ball game at 16-6.
Yeah, Cody, just a complete breakdown by the Bulldog defense. Nobody picked up Hadley out of the backfield, and all the motion went to the right. Hadley went out to the left, and there was nobody there for Ainsworth to pick him up, and it was an easy pitch and catch for the 48-yard touchdown, and Loomis right back in the game.
Right in there.
And
what
remember,
a great play.
that came on 2nd and 22.
Yep, exactly. Ainsworth loads up the box. They try to stop that run, and now a 2-point try coming up here. Here comes the quarterback. Throws it into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Batted away by Carter Nelson. The intended target looked to be number 5, Clay Bohr. With 5:27 to go in the first half, our Tri-County Bank scoreboard, Ainsworth 16, Loomis 6. Class D2 football playoffs from Ainsworth, Nebraska, here on KBRB.
Get your game on at Palmer Embroidery and Boutique. You can get your Bulldog gear here. Not just for students, we have all fans covered, including parents and grandparents. Bulldog Pride? It's kind of a really big deal at your locally owned hometown boutique on Main Street in Ainsworth.
Put your project in good hands with Sean Furno Construction, offering complete general contracting services. Home renos, window installs, siding, roofing, decks, new builds, you name it. Call on Sean Furno Construction at 402-382-8093.
Keys to the game, Greg. We talked about big plays given up by the Bulldogs here last part of the season, and right there is a big play for the Wolves. Get themselves right into it, 16-6 here in the first.
Well, you watched them kind of run some of that in their pregame, but it's all the motion goes to the right. They've run that as an option several times. This time they throw out of it that same action, and the linebackers pursue. And again, the Bulldogs don't really play a true deep safety, and so when Hadley snuck out of the backfield around that left side, it's just a little wheel route on the opposite side for the running back, and boy, he was wide open. And a smart play by Meyer. He could just kind of loft it up to him,
there,
make sure he could catch it. They didn't try to put too much zip on it, and knew he could just basically trot into the end zone.
Well, the Loomis Wolves try an onside kick here. We shall see. It is going to be Meyer getting ready to kick this one. Nope, he's going to put the whole leg into this one, and he'll go into the end zone, and it's a touchback. Greg, one thing that I can say, when we were going through the stats in the pregame, we talked about Gunnar Hadley, Clay Meyer. One of those got lost in the shuffle right there, and it made it count for the Loomis Wolves.
Well, the two guys you really have to account for on every play out of this offense. You just mentioned the two of them right there, and the Bulldogs lost one of the two. So it's 16-6. Ainsworth gets the ball back and actually has the long field again at the 15. It took them 2 plays the last time they started at the 15 to get in the end zone.
Oh, and Loomis stock split to left, McNally to the right, Carter Nelson lone quarterback in the backfield. Looks like they're going to keep it there. And just a great play by the freshman linebacker again. He went down at the knees, and that's going to be no gain.
Yeah, that's the freshman, Coy Meyer, again, stopping Carter for no gain. And, you know, he's just in there. He breaks down, and then he does not try to tackle a 6'5", 200-plus-pound kid up high.
Right.
He goes right down there to around the shins and the knees, but he follows through with it. He wraps both arms around and just doesn't give Carter a chance to get away.
All of Ainsworth plays, big plays, have come from the outside. Carter going to look to go back to pass. He's going to throw this one up, and McNally had beaten his guy, and he overshoots him, does Nelson.
Yeah.
What a great double move by McNally as Gunnar Hadley was in coverage, broke his
yeah,
he didn't break his ankle,
he fell down.
He
really fell down. He
fell
bit
down
on that first move. It was kind of an out and up,
Yep.
and Hadley bit on the first move and just literally fell down, but the pass overthrown. But just like we saw for Loomis, they put a little more air under that pass, and Carter was under a bit of pressure, but if you put a little more air under that, Tragan's going to walk into the end zone.
Hey, what about this, though? It's a 3rd down and long for Ainsworth. Loomis Wolf defense stepping it up as Tragan will go back to pass. He's going to throw this one out to Appelt. Appelt gets to the 20, and he's upended by the freshman again at the 21. Ainsworth's just going to have to wait. He's going to come tackle you at the knees, maybe do a little juke and step over or off to the side of him. Just a great open field tackle again by the
tackler on the season, and Coach Spee said, boy, he was just kind of a surprise for us. We put him in early in the season with an injury, and he just never gave the spot up after we put him in, and you can see why. He's already got 4 tackles, and there's a fake punt.
Nelson's going to go with the fake punt, and he's going to get across the midfield. He's at the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. Bulls a guy right over for the touchdown. Holy
what a
moly.
run.
4th and 5 from the 20, and Carter Nelson will go in from 60 yards out. That was designed rugby-style kick. If it's there, run it. And he did for the touchdown. And just like that, the Wolves had a stop until Carter Nelson went for 60.
Carter was not going to be denied on that one. And then, boy, the Bulldogs had, after Carter broke free, there was one defender, the punt returner, back there. The Bulldogs had 3 guys, and a couple of them whiffed, and Carter just had a massive stiff arm to take down the punt returner and get that last 10 yards.
Carter looking to go to the right side, going to throw it to McNally, and he'll in and out of his hands. Great display of sportsmanship there by Gunnar Hadley to help him up. But the Ainsworth Bulldogs on 4th and 5 from their own 20-yard line get a 60-yard touchdown run by Carter Nelson. And with 4:09 to go here in the first quarter, Ainsworth 22, Loomis 6 on our Tri-County Bank scoreboard. It is D2 football playoffs here on KBRB Ainsworth.
Healthy cattle are the foundation of a healthy food supply. Consistent growth has allowed BJOP feedlots to build trust with their customers, providing them with the ease of knowing their cattle are in great hands. Let BJOP feedlots of Ainsworth guide you in your cattle feeding and agricultural endeavors.
Your meat is what matters at Holt County Locker in Stewart. Stop in and pick up perfectly marbled steaks, thick-cut bacon, handmade sausages, sweet velvety hams, Rod's famous jerky, wieners, or salami, and so much more. Appointments are available.
Cody Gucci, Greg Kinsey back here on KBRB, FM 92.7, Ainsworth, Nebraska. The web at kbrb.net. 4:09 to go here in the first quarter. Loomis Wolves looked like they had a stop. We're going to get the ball back, and Carter Nelson, we've heard all about him. He has 12 Division I offers and some power school offers. He's like, you know what, I'm not going to punt this. I'm going to run it in, and he does from 60.
Cody, if you like big plays, it's been a fun first quarter. Wow. 4 touchdowns. The shortest one of those 4, 28 yards between the two teams. So we haven't been in the West Plains Bank Zone yet. Everything's come from outside that.
That is right. 4:09 to go in the first. Carter Nelson, 3-step drop kick, and this one going to get it's at the 1, and that'll be a penalty.
Just outside the pylon, so just missed getting that into the end zone.
Normally you get a guy that steps back about 7 yards, puts a leg to it. He goes back 3 yards and just straight ahead kicks the thing, and it still goes about 50 yards.
So an option for Coach Spees, he can take the football at the 25, or he can back up the Bulldogs 5 yards and make them re-kick. After that last kick return, wouldn't be surprised to see them take the 5-yard option and re-kick this one as opposed to taking the football at the 25.
Nelson
looks
enough
like what they're going to do.
And the wind to put it into the end zone, but right now electing to just kind of try to kick it away from the return man. That's Nelson.
Cale Nelson.
So we got Nelson to Nelson basically has been happening. This will be Carter Nelson get ready to kick this one away. We'll just see if he steps back anymore or not here.
Well,
he does actually go back about 5 yards.
The kickoff team just ran a wind sprint down the sideline, so they've got to get back and do it again.
This one, he kicks a little bit higher. Going to be picked up by Cale Nelson at the 9. He's at the 15, looking for a block at the 20. Containment's there. Jacob Held will make a great tackle at the 23-yard line. And that was set up by a young sophomore, Salzman, containing the outside, making him go outside. And it was a tackle made after what looks to be about a 20-yard return. Not quite 20.
14 from the 9, but to the 23. So instead of taking it at the 25, 2-yard difference, so about a wash. But a chance to get one of your skill players a chance to return it. So you probably take that if you're Coach Spees. You missed a couple of yards from where you would have had the football, but it took a good play by the Bulldog special teams. So now Loomis has to try to answer.
Still first quarter.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes left in the first quarter, Code.
See if we have the same play that had a touchdown earlier. No, this could be a quarterback keeper, and he's looking for to go ahead, and he does. It looks like going to be making the tackle in there will be a couple of seniors, and Ethan Furno and Landon Holloway, but another 3-yard pickup for the quarterback, Clay Meyer.
Yeah, just nothing fancy there. He just tucks it and tries to go off left guard. Good play by Furno and Holloway to stop him after 3, and Trey Appelt was trying to rip that ball out late, and it was pretty close because as Meyer came down. He actually came down onto
Bulldogs,
Furno
yeah.
instead of it being on the ground, and Trey alertly was trying to rip at that football, but they did call him down before the ball came out.
Split to the left, Gunnar Hadley to the right, Coy Meyer. And in the empty backfield will be Clay Meyer. See if Ainsworth brings any heat. In motion will be Meyer. Going to go back with the screen pass, nearly picked off. The quarterback sack almost by Appelt, and getting up slowly is Clay Meyer.
Trey Appelt put a hit on Meyer, and Regan Blumenstock nearly made an acrobatic shoot-string interception, but that was supposed to be a little quick design screen, but you're going to have to get a little bit of a chip on Trey Appelt, and boy, Meyer got up a little slowly. You know, at 210 pounds, he's not used to kind of being prone like that and having a big kid like Appelt be able to hit him, but he kind of got he's still a little slow as he walks up toward the line of scrimmage.
Bohr split to the left. Cale Nelson split to the right. Quarterback Meyer by himself. Ainsworth's going to go back. Here comes some more blitzing. Ball's up in the air, and it's going to be batted around. It's picked off by Nelson. Batted by Furno into Nelson's hand. That was a great defensive play by the defensive lineman. That was Ethan Furno, the defensive lineman, back in coverage at midfield. He bats it right into Carter Nelson's hands, and that is the first turnover of the ball game.
But, Cody, it was the pressure. I mean, Meyer had somebody on him right away, and that was just a wounded duck as he basically was hit as he threw that, and the ball just lofted into the air, and Furno went up and tipped it, and Nelson made a nice interception.
Nelson on the left side. They're going to throw this one up in the air for Carter Nelson and over his intended hands. That time he was kind of not running that full speed, not for sure where that ball was going to be. Great coverage by Cale Nelson, the 170-pound junior. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. Bulldogs on their Wolves' 31-yard line.
Well, Code, what he was trying to do there is he was trying to body up the defender. The pass ended up, Tragan expected him to kind of keep running, and Carter was actually trying to box out the defender. He tried to put his body on him and then basically see if he could out-jump him. And Carter's a little late getting back to the sideline.
Well, he had to go chase the football. The official made him go chase the football down. So, yeah, he had to go another 40 yards to get the football. So he's going to come get a drink of water.
And we do see Morgan Kinney in the backfield now for the first time.
They're going to hand it off to Morgan. He's in the backfield. Scat back, gets to the right side, got a face mask. He has 5, he has 10. He's going to be brought down after first down, but it looks like a face mask.
A face mask or a hold? Which one was it?
It's just a 5-yard face mask, the official is saying. So I think you take the result of the play. It's a first down up at the,
there's the hold, yeah.
Hold?
It was a hold,
he said number 5. I thought he meant a 5. I saw Morgan Kinney's face get turned around when he went around the corner, so I just thought that was an easy face mask call.
Well, that's going to wipe out a 17-yard gain by Morgan, but the hold did allow Morgan to get around the corner. That left defensive end, I think it was Ludicky, had penetration. One of the Bulldogs turned his shoulder to stop him, and that's going to be a big penalty all the way back into Bulldog territory at the 34. So that's going to end up, Cody, being a 15-yard holding call.
Well, it looks like maybe Nelson is a little bit shook up there, hobbling a little bit on maybe that right ankle. This is when you kind of need the guy that's been doing well for you this season. 2:55 to go in the first, 22-6. Ainsworth in the lead, but second down and about 23 or 4. Going to hand this one off Morgan Kinney. Morgan's going to get smoked in the backfield. He just tries to string things out, not able to cut it up, find that gap and get 3 or 4, and he'll lose about 2.
Yeah, that was Clay Meyer. He fought off a block there on the edge, and again, when Morgan tried to bounce it, there was nowhere to go. So Meyer won at the line of scrimmage, and then when Morgan tried to bounce it, Meyer was in perfect spot to take him down for a couple of yards.
Too fast of a defense to try to get to that outside corner with no blocking. Ainsworth put Carter Nelson at quarterback. Clock is winding, Greg. It's been a long first quarter. Nelson going to go back to pass. He's going to throw it in the middle to McNally. It's going to go for what looks to be 14 yards, but it'll be about a 4th and 14 or 15.
Yeah, picked up, we'll give him 13 on that completion. Good catch by Tragan, but it's going to be well short of a first down.
From the 30 to the 44.
That's a big stop for this Loomis defense.
44. There you go. I'm used to the 11-man back in the day when I played football.
It's a big stop for this Loomis defense after the turnover in their territory.
And they'll
now the
send
Bulldogs.
Nobody back.
Oh, the snap high. Carter, a nice job just to get a hand on it. He's going to kick it into the end zone. Boy, Carter used all 6'5" plus a pretty good vertical to get one hand on it, tipped it to himself, and then just took one step and kicked it.
Well, he didn't know if the defense was coming. So great stop by the Loomis Wolves, aided by a holding by the Ainsworth Bulldogs, which negated an Ainsworth first down about the 14-yard line, Greg.
Well,
that's why he got that far.
Wolves get the stop, so now still about 22-6, still a minute 47 to go in our opening quarter. It is. Bulldogs have thrown 6 passes, completing 3. Loomis has thrown 6 passes, completing 2 with 1 interception. Loomis' longest play, of course, that 48-yard touchdown for their only score to Gunnar Hadley. Other than that, Cody, their longest play from scrimmage has been 7 yards. So it's, again, that Ainsworth defense that really plays downhill, and if you hit them for a big play, they're not going to really change what they do.
Late getting the play in. The 5-second count is on, and it's going to prompt a timeout from Loomis Wolves after the punt went into the end zone. Greg, you were talking. I saw the official put up the 10-second. He started counting. Loomis will take a timeout. 1:47 to go in the first quarter. Ainsworth 22, Loomis 6. Loomis ball, first down at 10 when we return to Ainsworth, Nebraska here on KBRB.
Making car shopping fun again. Whether you're in the market for brand new or pre-owned, shop the great selection at William Crotter Company, where service is a family tradition. See them at 305 West Douglas in O'Neill, or you can find them on Facebook and CrotterAuto.com.
Got Residuo with Soother's Feed, a second-generation nutrition-first company that truly cares if you're successful. With our products from everything from mineral to cubes, custom feeds, consultations, heifer development programs, feedstock supplier programs, we can do it all. That's Scott Residuo with Soother Feeds, 402-358-2083.
Greg, I was thinking, going back to the play, how many first downs does Loomis have? I only had maybe 2 in my memory.
2. Well, there's only been 6 first downs in the whole game. 2 for Loomis, 4 for Ainsworth. There's just been so many big plays. Those big plays count as 1 first down, but we haven't had really any sustained drives by either team.
Right, and Loomis got one of their first downs on a, 48-yard TD pass from Meyer to Hadley.
Right.
Here comes a quarterback with the keeper on the outside. And Meyer's going to pick up about 4 yards. Kind of slowed down by Regan Blumenstock on the outside before he's finished off by a couple of Bulldogs.
Those are hard-earned yards, Cody. He had to shed about 2 tackles just to get it out to the between the 18. I'll call it the 19. So that is a gain of 4. So second and a long 6 for Loomis. But yeah, Blumenstock had a hand on him in the backfield, just couldn't bring him down.
We did see for the first time just a moment ago Chris Fernandez, 125-pound freshman in there. He'll come back out. Twins to the right here for the Wolves. I formation. In motion will go Coy Meyer. Going to go with a run around the end. He's looking for some room. Ainsworth just strung that one completely out.
There's Morgan Kenny on the defensive end making the stop. So good for the Bulldogs seeing Kenny able to give it a go today. And he was the one from that linebacker spot that flowed out there and made the stop on the jet sweep to Meyer.
Maybe no gain?
Yeah, it'll be, pretty much a loss of 1. So 3rd and 7 after we gave them 4 on the first down. They lose about a half a yard. So 3rd and 7 for Loomis. 35 seconds and counting to go in the opening quarter. It's been a long first quarter with a lot of scoring and a lot of clock stoppages with wide plays out of bounds and incomplete passes. And they're going to have to snap the ball. They're not going to be able to run the first quarter clock out.
Yeah, they got to get the snap off before the whistle blows his whistle, and that's going to get off just in time. Here's a screen pass, and it's going to be 8 up, and we're getting back to the line of scrimmage. The far receiver, and that's number 22, Ben Trompke, it looked like. Is that correct?
Yeah, Ethan Furno on the tackle read that one well. Regan Blumenstock also stopped and got back out there, and the pass was just in the air a long time, really let the Bulldogs recover. So no gain on that completion, and that's going to bring us to the end of quarter number 1. Loomis will have a 4th and 7 when we come back. But on your Tri-County Bank scoreboard after 12 minutes in this Class D2 West Bracket opening round game, the undefeated Ainsworth Bulldogs, the 3 seed in the West, lead the 14 seed Loomis Wolves 22-6. We'll be back with the second 12 minutes of football after this timeout.
Insurance is confusing. Make the options clear. Stop into one of the North Central Insurance Agency locations, 220 North Main Street in Ainsworth or 506 West Highway 20 in Atkinson. Talk to the professionals, and they will help guide you to the perfect policy for you and everything in your life.
Quality Construction, Posel Construction of Long Pine, a family-owned business specializing in all forms of general contracting. They're your local dealer for Pella Windows. Matt and Jess Posel. Call 402-273-2929.
39-minute first quarter. Ainsworth leads at 22-6. Fourth down, and we'll call it 7 for the Loomis Wolves. They need to get to the 25. And we'll call it to 6, as it's about the 19 once they mark it off on the other side of the field. We are getting a couple of score updates here, Greg.
Well, Cody, you can see what Loomis is trying to do. They're trying to go with some misdirection. They're thinking with the way this Ainsworth team plays downhill and flows to the football, they're trying to hit Ainsworth with some misdirection. Now, the one worked on that little, swing route to the the running back when all the motion went to the right. But other than that, the Bulldogs have played those misdirection plays fairly well.
It is fourth down. Ainsworth will send back to receive a punt at about his own 25-yard line. Tragan McNally again.
Yeah, I'll be looking right into the sun too, Code. So keep that in mind here as we start this second quarter. Bulldog punt return will be right looking into the sun.
And it will be Meyer. Big dude punts this one away. Hangs up in the air. McNally's going to let it go. Look at this thing go inside maybe the 5. McNally is now going to pick it up at the 1. And he's going to try to returning it. He'll get maybe to about the 15. He let it bounce at the 20. He thought it was going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he thought it was going to go out of bounds on the sideline, but really a good play by Tragan to get down there. And as the ball stopped at about the 2, he did at least scoop it up and get it out to the 16. So that's a big 14 yards. Yeah, he made the mistake of letting the ball go by him. And again, you wonder, he was looking right into the sun. I think he thought it was maybe going to go out of bounds on an angle, but it was a good play.
Wind.
Yeah, good play by Tragan to go scoop it up alertly and get it back out to the 16 so they're not out of the shadow of their own goal line.
All right, this is going to be Nelson off to the left side, trying to get 5 yards. He'll lean forward. He has a first down. He breaks free.
Goes.
He's down the tight rope, and he is gone. No flags, ladies and gentlemen. 64 yards. Carter Nelson has 2 60-yard touchdown runs, and Ainsworth scores with 5 seconds. No, it took him 5 seconds to get there for 64 yards, 28-6 Bulldogs.
Cody, Carter looked so nonchalant as he kind of went around the end, as he just kind of set up that quarterback sweep. And when he turned that corner, he put on the jets, and there were 2 Loomis Wolves who thought they had an angle on him, and pretty soon they were 5 yards behind him, and he showed that burst of speed when he turned that corner and stuck his foot in the ground, and that is the speed, power, and size combination that has these Division I schools calling his phone.
This is going to be out to the left side. McNally, he is 8 up on the left side. Don't know if that was a pass play but whatever it is, he was tackled at the 10.
Coy Meyer again, Cody. That's the freshman getting out there and putting a good stick on McNally to keep him from getting outside.
So that is the second 2-point try by Ainsworth that has failed. And with 11:35 to go in the first half, Ainsworth 28, Loomis 6 on our Tri-County Bank scoreboard.
Sandhills Animal Health Care Center of Ainsworth. Dr. Cherie Stephen for all your animal health care, large to small animals and family pets. Call Dr. Cherie Stephen at Sandhills Animal Health Care Center, located 1 mile east and half mile south of Ainsworth.
Doing what's right yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Investing in our local communities is not a one-and-done project. At GJW LLC and Sandhills Elite Genetics, they take their responsibility to produce safe food seriously, doing their best for people, pigs, and producers.
Greg, we did get an update. D2 football, Dundee County Stratton, the 4 seed in the West, leads 13 seed Axtell 6-0 after 1 quarter. In a D1, it is Sandy Creek, the 13 seed, leading the 4 seed, Sandhills Valley 16-6. Playoff football throughout Nebraska.
Tell you what, Carter Nelson is so impressive to watch. I'm not kidding. He ran that sweep to the left and just kind of looked like he was just kind of cruising out there.
What'd you have that for?
64 yards.
64 yards.
From the 16, yeah. And when he turned on the jets, there were literally 2 Loomis Wolves trying to flow to that play, and by the time they got to the sideline, he was already past them.
So I'm not figuring this out. We're kicking into the wind. We blow it through the end zone this time, does Nelson. Airplane wings. All right, that's the coach telling us the airplane. We're using the draft. But that one goes through the end zone. It'll be first down and 10 for Loomis Wolves. Greg, right now it is gut check time for the Wolves. You're never out of any football game in 8-man, I can tell you that. But right now, a pretty important possession here, the first possession of the second quarter for the Wolves.
Well, with Coach Spees, they're not going to quit playing hard.
Exactly.
They will. They'll continue to come at you, and let's see if they continue to try Cody with the misdirection and see what they can, if they try to get something going in the passing game.
All right, this is going to be the quarterback rolling out. He's going to be sacked in the backfield. Who's back there? It is Landon Holloway.
Landon Holloway, and then Trey Appel cleans it up, but they tried to run the play-action pass with Meyer, rolled him to the right, and Landon Holloway was all over him immediately, got him down low, and then as Meyer was maybe trying to still throw the football, Trey Appel cleaned it up high, and that's going to be a loss back to the 5-yard line. A 10-yard sack. Holloway and Appelt combine. And now 2nd and 20 behind the chains are the Wolves, down 28-6.
They're going to go with an empty backfield. Back there at the quarterback spot again, Clay Meyer here. He'll send in motion one of his receivers. He's going to be hit by Blumenstock. He'll get back to maybe the 9, but I could hear that through my headphones clear up here about 70 yards away.
Regan Blumenstock played that so well, Cody. He did not give up the outside. He forced Hadley to cut it back inside, and when he made the decision and committed to cutting it back inside, Regan just stuck a foot in the ground and dove at his left leg, his outside leg, and knocked him to the ground for a gain of 5.
10:33 clock counting here in the first half. Ainsworth 28-6. Ainsworth led 22-6. They actually went up 16-0 before the Wolves struck on a 48-yard touchdown pass from Meyer to Hadley. Made it 16-6. Split clear out to the right side. Looks like Cale Nelson. And off the left side will be Hadley. Looks like a little bit trips to the right. And the quarterback going back to pass. Clay Meyer on the screen, picked off by Nelson. He has the end zone in sight, and it is good from 17 yards. And an interception for 17 yards for Carter Nelson.
Cody, you could see that coming. Carter got beat once going that direction with the rollout to the right and the throw back to the left. Carter baited him into throwing that one and just sat back there until Meyer let it go. Carter broke on the ball, caught it at the 17. There was no doubt that was in for 6. That was just a smart play by a junior that is so football savvy. Hey, they got me once going around that end where we lost the guy. We're going to not let that happen again. We're going to bait him into throwing it, and when he commits to throwing it, we jump in and pick it off. That was just a fantastic play by Carter.
Ainsworth scores, 10:04 to go here. 2-point try coming up. Ainsworth up 34-6. Carter Nelson going to try the 2-point run. He'll look ahead, and again, right there.
Guess who it was, Cody?
Yeah, Meyer, and all he does is goes right at your shins. And again, that's just one of those things. If you're going to go against him, he's going to make an open field tackle, and he makes a great tackle. So that is the third 2-point try in a row for the Bulldogs that has been shut down. However, with 10:04 to go in the first half, Tri-County Bank scoreboard, Ainsworth 34, Loomis 6 on a Tri-County Bank scoreboard.
When it comes to health care, the providers at the Ainsworth Family Clinic set a standard in quality that aims to exceed your expectations. Dr. Mel Campbell and nurse practitioners Jennifer Schermeyer and Hillary Goodwin. Better never stops at the Ainsworth Family Clinic.
Addison's Great Western serves all of your fertilizer, fuel, and propane needs. Give them a call or stop by their office. West of Ainsworth, visit with Bob Maxwell. You'll find Madison's Great Western makes your fertilizer and fuel needs their #1 priority.
Welcome back to East City Park. I'm Cody Gucci. Greg Kinsey joining us here on a hot football day. Is Ainsworth's going to send out the second unit for the kickoff here, Greg. 34-6 they lead with 10:04 to go, but I do not see a starter for Ainsworth out there, and this is going to be number 9, Chris Fernandez, 5'7", 125-pound freshman. Getting ready to kick. Maybe they're going to try it onside.
I don't know. I think Owen Blumenstock's about the only one of the starting unit I see out there.
It is a squib kick, and it's going to go down to about the 25, 26-yard line, and that will bring out the defense. Maybe giving them
maybe
a little
on a hot day, just giving those starters a little extra time there.
You know, sometimes on days like this, the officials give them an extra water break, but so far, knock on wood, no cramping. But right now, Greg, I mentioned last possession was a big possession for the Wolves. Ainsworth got an interception touchdown. We'll see what they can do here. Looks like Coy Meyer split to the left, I formation. Clay Meyer, the quarterback, with Hadley behind him. Going to go with the option out to the right side, and that is going to be McNally making a great play after about a 2-yard pickup. Back in the backfield again, though, was Appelt just blowing up the quarterback.
Well, he's the free guy. He's the guy they're optioning, and Trey is immediately attacking the quarterback and making him make that pitch, and then knowing that the help will be there. Bulldogs have played that option very well so far, and again, they are making it go to the pitch man, which is interesting because that's the speedier guy in Hadley, but they've had the linebacker and help there, and that's just a gain of 1.
Tropke will be split wide left. He'll be accompanied out there by Gunnar Hadley. Empty backfield for the quarterback. Clay Meyer now will send in motion. Hadley going to go with the quarterback keeper, and Ainsworth will read that one. 4 Bulldogs will bring him back as they try to strip the ball out. You know what? That's just great ability for Clay Meyer to hold on. 2 Bulldogs trying to rip the ball out of his hands.
Well, Riggin Blumenstock, you had Jacob held in there right away and just really nowhere for Meyer to go. And Meyer's a bigger kid. He's not really going to get you laterally side to side with a lot of moves. He's going to try to just kind of go forward, and the Bulldogs are really just not giving him any real room to get started. So 3rd and 7 again.
8:50 to go in the first half. Ainsworth 34, Loomis 6. Loomis on their own. It looks like a 32-yard line. And Meyer's going to go back to pass again. Ainsworth bringing the heat. This one going to be thrown up in the middle and losing where the ball was, it looked like, was Hadley. He was broke to left. If that ball's to the left, that's probably complete, but it was off to his right side. It goes incomplete. But I tell you what, he's an athlete out there.
He got behind the defense. He had a good couple of steps on Nelson and Kenny, but again, he turned to the left. The ball went more toward the middle of the field down that left seam. And when he turned the wrong way, just was no way to try to get turned back, and ends up about 2-3 yards past him. So now 4th and 7, and Cody down 34-6 with 8:37 to go for the Wolves. You're thinking
they're not punting.
Yeah, I don't know, because you haven't shown that you can really stop Ainsworth. So you may just try to keep your offense on the field.
Same play, it looks like, set up here as last one. Here comes Appelt. He'll get the hands up, and the ball is going to be dropped. Boy, Ainsworth plays face-guarding defense, and that should have been caught, as McNally had no clue defensively where that ball was. Coming back for that one, he just tapped himself on the helmet. Was the intended target out there, looked like Nelson.
Yeah, but again, Cody, it was immediate pressure from Trey Appelt, and I think when Meyer threw that ball, his arm or his hand came across onto either Trey's face mask or head, and he was kind of banged up but Trey Appelt was in there on him immediately. Just no way he could really get much on that throw. Had to throw it earlier than he wanted to.
Turnover and downs. Ainsworth has it. 1st down and 10. Going to go right up the middle to Appelt. He's wide open, and that is going to go in for a touchdown from 32.
Yeah, just a complete breakdown defensively. And now, Cody, you see it. Some of the Loomis kids, they're kind of hanging their heads just a little bit.
I don't know if they heard
after
the ready
that
for
one.
play.
And because
I don't think so.
I'm not sure what it was, but Ainsworth, a quick snap and just straight over the middle to Appelt from the end spot, just running a quick little route down the middle of the seam, and then a 31-yard pitch and catch. Just a simple play, and Trey's got his 2nd touchdown. And the Bulldogs are pouring it on 40-6 with 8:25 to go in the half.
I'm trying to find that wasp, Greg. It's kind of getting deadly up here.
I don't see him on you here, but here's our protective swatter.
I sure the heck don't want to be on the football field the way the pads are going. And what are we going to have? A timeout on a 2-point try for the Bulldogs?
Timeout taken before the 2-point try here with 8:25 to go. Cody, we talked in the pregame. What do you want to do if you're Ainsworth and you're playing a 3-5 team? You want to try to jump on them early. What has Ainsworth done? How about a 40-point first half, and there is still 8:25 to go. So this does several things. If the Bulldogs can kind of keep this going here in the first half, it's going to let them rest some of the starters in the second half potentially. It's going to get them that maybe that running clock to the point where they can play some of the backups. And this time of year, it's all about survival and advancing and staying healthy. So if you can do that and get on a warm day, get some of your starters a little time off. So they've really just come out and played, other than the one big play they've given up on the defensive side, played an almost perfect first half of football.
That is right. And I think the big turning point was Ainsworth had it 4th and 5 from their own 20 and got that 60-yard touchdown run by Carter Nelson. McNally going to look to throw this one up in the air. He's going to loft it up in the air. Morgan Kinney, looked like maybe kind of quit running that route, and then he just throws it to a corner, and it is incomplete. Ainsworth now with their 4th 2-point try that has failed in a row after getting the first 2 to go. But again, on the scoreboard, 8:25 to go here in this first half. Ainsworth 40, Loomis Wolves 6.
When you need expert electrical service, call on Travis Electric of Ainsworth. Travis Electric provides installation, repair, rewiring, maintenance, and upgrades for residential, commercial, farm, and ranch applications. Timely, reliable, professional, and courteous service, Travis Electric at 402-382-3280.
Cody Gucci, Greg Kinsey back here, KBRB FM 92.7, Ainsworth, Nebraska, and the web, kbrb.net. Greg, 8:25 to go in the first half. A lot of football to go, but Ainsworth, by any record that we could try to find in Ainsworth Community School history, trying to go to 9-0 for the first time and just to the state win a state football game in only 4 tries.
Well, Cody, that was a fantastic play call. When you consider Loomis goes for it on 4th down in their own territory, when they come up empty, Ainsworth immediately goes to a quick pass over the middle to Appelt. And, you know, you've got so many weapons you watch for Ainsworth. A lot of people forget about Trey Appelt. As there's a kick, a little squib kick. Nice job fielding that one by one of the upbacks at about the 29-yard line. That was, again, the freshman, Coy Meyer. I'm impressed with that young kid. He's been their leader defensively, and that one, just a heady play to start with good field position.
You said stay healthy. Injury report brought to you by Rangeland Rehab and Ainsworth Bass, your first choice for exceptional care. They are taping up that left knee of Carter Nelson right here in front of us. We've seen a lot of tackles down there around that shin and left knee. And at Rangeland Rehab, physical therapist Brian Doak, along with professional staff, are trained on many techniques to help improve mobility and decrease pain from shoulders, neck, back, hips, knees, and feet. They also help with a variety of balance issues, strengthening whether the injury occurred on the playing field, work, or at home. Give them a call at Rangeland Rehab. First down and 10 here for the Wolves. So that means the defensive back is different here. Going to go with the big pass over the head of the intended target. Gunnar Hadley, the pressure again on the Bulldogs on that right side. Carter Nelson will get it taped up. He's going to hobble a little bit out there, but Jacob Held will come out.
Again, Reagan Blumenstock from the right defensive end got the pressure. Owen Blumenstock was step for step with Hadley, the intended receiver. So Loomis just trying to search for anything on the offensive side to work. Again, they got that one misdirection touchdown of 48 yards. But again, other than that, 7 yards has been their longest play from scrimmage outside that one big pass play.
Trumpke going to split to the left side with Hadley. Empty backfield for the quarterback, Meyer. 8:19 to go here in the first half. And back to pass is the quarterback, and he was going to be ate up, and now wide open, getting past Nelson again was Clay Boer. Getting past Carter Nelson on the defensive backside. It looked like Reagan Blumenstock was going to sack the quarterback, but he didn't want a roughing the passer penalty. He held up, and the pump fake nearly cost the Bulldogs 6.
Well, Cody Carter is definitely in some discomfort as he was beaten
If he is,
deep.
they got others.
Clay Boer was behind him, and Carter just couldn't close the distance. You can tell he is not 100% right now. It may be with a 40-6 lead, might be a good idea to give your starter maybe the rest of the day off, as he is definitely not 100%.
8:13 clock stop. Here is again. This one going to be a screen pass touched at the line by Ainsworth, and off to the races. It's going to be number 18, it looks like, Cale Nelson. The ball was deflected in the backfield, but that was going to go
from the
31 yards.
From the 29 down to the 19. Yeah,
screen pass got the Dogs on that right side, and
32.
that does go out to number 18, Cale Nelson, and it is first down and 10 inside the 20 for the Loomis Wolves. We're not done yet, they say.
Hey, they set that one up well. They used the Bulldogs' aggressiveness against them again. They just shot the lineman out to the right through that screen out there to Nelson, and he had a lot of room and a lot of blockers down the sideline.
Here comes a man in motion from right to left is Hadley. Quarterback going to keep it up the middle, and it's going to be another first down inside the West Plains Bank Zone.
I think that's the first time we've seen either team inside that West Plains Bank Zone.
Give him 11 and a first down.
It's going to be close, Code. I think they're going to call it a first down. Needed the 9. He's right there at it. Let's see where they spot it.
Yeah.
It looks like from here it should be a first down.
They got it 19 and a half. Yeah,
they're going to call it a gain of 9.
Second down. Yes, first down and goal. Yeah,
okay,
first down and goal from the 9.
Gain of 10. Okay.
There we go. First down and goal from the 9 here for Loomis Wolves, trying to answer back down 40-6 here on KBRB Ainsworth, Nebraska, D2 football playoffs. Couple of men in motion. That's two men in motion.
That's not going to work.
And that is going to be an illegal shift.
Yeah.
But
You had a guy rolling right and a guy rolling left pre-snap. That does not quite get it done. So,
but, basically a penalty-free game for the most part for both teams in the first half.
That's just the second penalty on the Wolves. They had that one holding call for 12, so that's going to cost them 5 on the illegal shift. Bulldogs have been penalized twice. One on a personal foul, one on a holding call for 15 yards. There haven't been a lot of flags in this one. It's just been a lot of big plays, mainly by the Bulldogs. So this is going to put it back first and goal at the 14.
But I do believe on an illegal shift, the play goes on, and you can take the result of the penalty if you want to.
Or a result of the play if
result
you're the Bulldogs. But they did blow it dead, yeah.
So this will bring up a first down and goal now from the 14-yard line. Now the crowd getting back for the Ainsworth Bulldogs here. First down and goal. Going to go with an option play to the outside. Trying to get out there is held. He misses a tackle, and there is a block on the Bulldogs on the outside, and getting down to about the 1-yard line.
Jacob Held got blocked in the back. Cody, I've got to call that a pass. That pitch went forward. So we're going to have to call that a pass of 13 yards, and they did. That was Jacob Held got blocked.
It was
right
actually
in the. Was it
McNally?
Was it McNally blocked in the back? Yeah.
That's all right.
So we're going to call that a completion. So second and goal at the 1 after all said and done.
And they knocked him out of bounds, so the clock will stop. Chance for Loomis to get right back in this one at 40-6. And this is going to be the quarterback running forward. He's still not in. Now they'll push him in. That's a great job by the offensive lineman. Number 90, Caden Swanson, a 225-pound freshman. Ainsworth kind of had him wrapped up. Swanson helps and gets the Loomis Wolves in for the touchdown. 40-12 on that, that shovel pass out to the left, turn back to the right for the Loomis Wolves, and that gets them on a 1-yard carry by the quarterback Clay Meyer in for the touchdown, his first rushing touchdown of the game.
So good response there from Loomis. They get the big play in the passing game of 32 yards and cash it in to give themselves a little bit of life here at 40-12 with 7:02. Code, game's never over in 8-man.
Exactly.
We saw Ainsworth down 36-8 at about this point come back and win over Elgin Public Pope John.
Wide open over in the right end for the 2-point try is good. A pass from Meyer, and that into the hands of Clay Borer, and 7:02 to go in the first half. Our Tri-County Bank scoreboard, Ainsworth 40, Loomis 14. Back with more in a moment.
Sylvia's Insurance Group was instrumental in the development and expansion of a federal insurance program called Pasture, Rangeland, and Forage Insurance. To learn about PRS from the company that helped bring it to the market, call me, Terry Hess, at 402-340-0567.
William Crotter Lumber Company of Ainsworth, Bassett, Stewart, Atkinson, O'Neill, Spencer, and Gregory supply all of your building needs, from the tiniest finishing nail to truckloads of lumber. William Crotter Company, where service is a family tradition.
Back here at East City Park, boy, we got the flight bulbs on the scoreboard, 40-14. Greg Kinsey, Loomis strikes back there on a couple of big plays.
Yeah, that 32-yard screen pass really set that one up, and then that was all Gunnar Hadley on that. It ended up being a shovel pass. It was a forward pitch on an option run to the left, and he cut it all the way back around the right side, maybe benefited from a missed block in the back call, but took it down there to the 1, and then excellent second and third effort from Clay Meyer. He was hit by Appelt about the line of scrimmage there at the 1, was just able to power forward again with a little assistance, but into the end zone, and gives Loomis a little bit of life. They were starting to hang the heads a little bit after that pick 6 and then missing the 4th down and giving up the quick touchdown, but that'll get a little bounce back in the step of the Wolves here on the road.
And they're laying the heat to the Bulldogs for sure. Going to go with the squib kick, and Ainsworth is going to not get it.
And it did travel the 10 yards. Bulldogs did not come up and play
after that
it.
Touchdown. You have to know.
Yep, the Bulldogs were late responding to that. Trey Appelt couldn't quite get to it, and an excellent onside kick and recovery. I did not see who recovered
Number 5.
that. It was Bohr that recovered it, but he waited until it traveled the 10 yards and then smothered it at the 39 of the Bulldogs, or 38. So.
Ainsworth up 40-6. I think the Wolves say, you know what, boys? We came to play some football. You guys may be taking a little bit of a break here. This thing is far from over. Split out to the right side will be Cale Nelson tight on the left side. Will be Coy Meyer. In the backfield, we Hadley behind the quarterback, Clay Meyer. Ainsworth going to go with a little bit of a blitz. There is going to be
my.
ball's loose. Going to be picked up by the Loomis Wolves, number 11, Gunnar Hadley, and he is going to lose it as Appelt just knocked the ball right out of the hands of Clay Meyer, the quarterback, on a pass play. But again, they had an open receiver.
Well, Trey Appelt got in there and blew that play up, forced the fumble. Fortunate for Loomis that Hadley was there to get on top of it and advanced it back to the, looks like the 35-yard line, so they're going to lose about 7 on that play, but a forced fumble from Appelt. And I tell you what, the Bulldogs are getting in on Meyer immediately, and they almost have to because the back end, the Bulldogs are giving up. There's open receivers back there.
Yeah, they're getting burnt, no doubt about it. Tromke split to the left, trips off to the right again. By himself is Clay Meyer, the quarterback. Nose guard won't blitz, so bring him back in coverage. Going to throw this one deep. And this one going to be caught, and this one going to go in for a touchdown again. Touchdown, Loomis Wolves for 45 yards. Again, the face guarding by the Bulldogs, unable to turn around, locate the ball, and that is a 45-yard touchdown strike. Loomis Wolves say, here we come, Bulldogs.
Well, you know, Tragan McNally was back there in good position, Cody, and he turned and looked for the football. He just didn't locate it. Hadley did and just was behind him, and then when Tragan turned back around, Hadley was past him. That's 45 yards, back-to-back scores
yes.
in a little over a minute's worth of time on the onside kick. And, hey, don't go anywhere, folks. We've got us a ball game.
2-point try coming up. Ainsworth has not committed on 4 of theirs. It's going to be kind of a reverse play, and that is going to be stopping short is the running back, Clay Bohr.
Yep. Good job by Owen Blumenstock to get in there. Holloway was there. Holloway got a towel. He's trying to give the towel back to Bohr as the run fails, but back-to-back scores from the Wolves. 5:56 to go in the half. It's now a 40-20 ball game on the Tri-County Bank scoreboard. Don't go anywhere, folks. Anything can happen in 8-man football.
Plan for life with Peterson Asset Protection Group in Ainsworth. Kirk Peterson offers life insurance, annuities, investment products, retirement planning, estate planning, and long-term care insurance. Phone 402-519-0330.
Maintain and enhance a beautiful lawn with Paulson's Lawn Service of Ainsworth. Jerry and Norma Paulson. Mowing, lawn cleanup, power raking, aerating, fertilizing, and spraying. They provide free estimates, references gladly given. Paulson's Lawn Service of Ainsworth.
5:56 to go here in the first half. A Ainsworth 34-point lead is now trimmed to 20 on back-to-back touchdowns. Clay Meyer, a 1-point TD run. The onside kick, they recover. The 45-yard TD pass from Meyer to Hadley, and boom, like that, it's 40-20 here in the first half. Loomis, 3-5 on the year, but again, you're seeing why they made it to the playoffs, Greg Kinsey.
Well, now you've got the Bulldogs up playing onside kick coverage, and now if you're Loomis, what you would like to do potentially here is try to kind of pooch kick it
20
over this first wave of Bulldogs. They've got Blumenstock standing at about the goal line. There is a big gap from the 30-yard line to about the 1. And now if you're the Wolves, you maybe try to kick it over the top of this first wave and see if they can't get it down the field to about the 20.
And this one going to go through the end zone for Meyer. It'll be first down and 10 from the 15 for the Ainsworth Bulldogs. But now do we have a little bit of the Bulldogs hanging a bit of the heads?
Well, I don't know about that, but look at the touchdown scores. You know, you had the 17-yard pick six for Carter and then the 1-yard touchdown run for Meyer. Other than that, touchdown plays have been 37, 28, 48, 60, 64, 31, and 45 for both these teams.
Wow. In the first downs, look how many first downs are on
Not
those
that many.
plays.
Not that many.
I'm talking, you get a first down for when you
You
get a
do,
touchdown.
but there haven't been many outside of those scoring plays.
So Nelson will be at quarterback here. See the Wolves, whose defense has been stepping it up here, can get a stop here. Going to hand this one off to McNally. He's going to be met in the backfield, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. Blew up the line to the defensive line. Loomis has found another gear.
Yeah, Clay Bohr ends up cleaning it up, but it was good penetration from Clay Meyer and Ludicky to get that one kind of stopped before it could get started. And then Bohr cleans it up. McNally will lose a yard, and all of a sudden the Loomis fans are starting to wake up over there across the sideline.
Fans went dead when it was 40-6, and now Loomis Wolves are fired up. Second down and about 12 Ainsworth going to go to Carter Nelson, going to throw it up in the air. This one going to be dropped right there for a first down. If he catches the ball, that was Owen Blumenstock. But a great defensive play by number 18, Cale Nelson.
Well, it's another double move that the Wolves bid on, and that's one Owen Stock's got to catch. It was right in the middle of that number 5 jersey, and he just didn't get it squeezed. It would have gone for at least 15, but all of a sudden now third and a long 11, short 12 here for the Bulldogs, and they're in danger of giving it right back to the Wolves with 5:16 to go in the half, 40-20.
Yeah, Ainsworth led 40-6 at 8:35 to go in this first half. Nelson going to run a go route. And McNally looking to throw. He's going to try making the guy miss. He does, and he's going to get a first down. He cuts it back, and he's going to go for a touchdown. How did he get all the way from the 13 into the end zone? Boy,
Cody,
what a move.
I was sitting there thinking you need to throw it. Carter broke off the route and came back, and Traegan had a chance to hit him about the 27 or 8 yard line for a first down on 3rd and long. Instead, Traegan tucked it. He made a guy miss at the 20-yard line, made another guy miss at about the 27, and then from there, that was just a great cut. He was down the sideline. The last line of defense came, I think, wanted to try to take him out of bounds, and he just stuck a foot in the ground, cut back in, put that defender on the ground, and took it the rest of the way, and that's 67.
Yeah, 67
yards.
67, just like that. Ainsworth back up 46-24, 59 to go. Another big play. 2-point try coming up. Ainsworth has a lead blocker out there. Nelson will dive in, and he gets it in. So Ainsworth answers right back after the Wolves put up 2 straight.
Cody, that's a big answer. Really big answer.
Went 4 unanswered scores before Loomis goes back with 2, and now Ainsworth uses less than a minute. And with 4:59 to go here in the first half, Ainsworth scores their 4th touchdown in the second quarter. They lead Loomis 48-20 here in the first half in a high-scoring affair from East City Park. D2 football playoffs on KBRB.
West Plains Bank of Ainsworth and Springview values each customer. They strive to offer you the financial products and services to help you accomplish your life's goals. West Plains Bank, Ainsworth and Springview, member FDIC. The Ainsworth Feed Mill is proud to buy corn from local farmers because the best corn in the nation makes the best pigs in the nation. And when money stays local, it multiplies time and time again. GJW and the Ainsworth Feed Mill, putting our local area first and feeding the world.
Well, big answer for the Ainsworth Bulldogs after 2 good answers from the Loomis Wolves. Ainsworth led 22-6 at the end of 1, stretched that lead to 40-6. Wolves answer with 2 touchdowns, and then Ainsworth now with a touchdown. Greg, I have 6 touchdowns in this half, 4 in the first half, 10 touchdowns in the first half.
I'm running out of room on my stat sheet, so I'm going to have to borrow a yellow sheet for the second half just to track scoring plays.
Yeah, we still have 4:59 to go here in this first half, and Ainsworth at this time for this does not elect to bring in the second string kicker, and they'll bring in Carter Nelson to kick this one. A couple pooch kicks last time for the Bulldogs. Nelson get ready to kick this one. Standing back at his end zone is Cale Nelson, and this one is going to go over Cale's head and into the end zone. So that, instead of giving the ball at the 30 or 35, Greg, will get him to the 15, but the Wolves have found some offense through the air.
It's been a fun first half. We might set a record for first half time length. We still have 5 minutes left in the half. The big play after big play for both teams. Bulldogs have had a couple 1-play drives, a couple 2-play drives. Loomis has hit some big plays in the past game, and it's a lot of clock stoppages when you score and run the 2-point try and then stop it before the kickoff again. So
Ainsworth looks like going to bring in the freshman Fernandez to play D-back instead of McNally. It is first down and 10 here for the Wolves. They're going to go with the quarterback, and it's going to be stopped about the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard gain for the quarterback, Clay Meyer.
And again, it was Trey Appelt, the first one in there to make contact. Landon Holloway also in there on Meyer. And, boy, it looks like pretty much no gain on first down.
Second down, they're going to give him, looks like maybe a half yard there, as you mentioned, and second down. And we'll call it 9 for the Loomis Wolves on their own 16. 4:30 to go in the first half, high-scoring game. 48-20 Bulldogs. And, Greg, we had, as you mentioned, a 1, a 17, and then what, a 27-yard touchdown. Those are the 3 shortest touchdowns.
Yeah, somewhere around there. We're gonna have 400 yards of offense and scoring plays.
I formation, twins to the right here for the Wolves. Going to go back on a screen pass. Again, throwing it deep. McNally, and that went over the head of Cale Nelson. And again, the Bulldogs on the defense not knowing where that ball is, and it sails over the head of the Loomis Wolves. Boy, if you're getting any film on the Bulldogs here, you're going to see that pass coverage right now, the Bulldogs are going to have to find that ball. But again, now the receiver and the defender are looking back into the sun.
And it's just a case, Ainsworth just plays without a true free safety. That's just one thing you don't see a lot of defenses do. They put that extra guy in the box to stop the run, and they're going to bank on that you're not going to be able to consistently beat them deep one-on-one with their team speed. But, yeah, there's no free safety back there with his, facing the ball to track that.
Here comes the blitz. Screen pass to the mid. No, it'll get me picked off by McNally. As I said that, this time he gets it, and he will get the interception. He turned around as a defense of him. He come in on a cut route with the intended target, Nelson. It was above his hands, and the tip drill worked for McNally. Interception.
But, Cody, it starts again with the pressure on Meyer. The pressure was there immediately, and it forced Meyer to throw off his back foot. The pass was high. Cale Nelson jumped up to try to get it, tipped it, and it was picked off by McNally. And see, now they're working on Riggin Blumenstock.
Injury reports brought to you by Rangeland Rehab, as Riggin looked like holding his back a little bit. Might have tweaked his backside just a little bit. We'll tell you more in a moment. Ainsworth has it, wants to go quickly. Nelson going to go with the fake reverse, throw it up in the middle. There's Appelt, and it's just underthrown. I'm not going to say he dropped it. It was underthrown at the 5. And what do we have? We have a penalty about 10 yards deep.
Yeah, it was wide open again, and Carter got enough pressure that he couldn't quite get as much on that one as he wanted to, and it's going to be a hold on the Bulldogs anyway.
Yeah.
I would guess they'll still accept the penalty, as the flag is about 6 or 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage from where they'll start marking this one off. It's going to be about 16 or 17 yards when they step this one off, all the way back to the Bulldog side of the field at the 38. Cody, they need about the 16 for a first down. That is going to be a 16-yard penalty on Ainsworth.
Yeah, injury reports again brought to you by Rangeland Rehab. Step it up, stay in the game. Have you received a doctor's prescribed physical therapy? Well, each patient has a right to choose where they want their therapy completed. It is Rangeland Rehab physical therapist Brian Doak, along with professional staff working closely with physicians, local and far. Rangeland Rehab, Ainsworth and Bassett. Here at Ainsworth, the phone number 402-387-1600.
And Riggin Blumenstock is back up and looks like he's all right. Getting worked on over there on the sideline by the training staff. And, yeah, just trying to stretch out that lower back area, looks like. So he looks like he's going to be okay, but the Bulldogs off this timeout are going to be faced with 1st and 26. And for any normal offense, you'd say that's really behind the chains. But I'll tell you what, I guess it just makes the Bulldogs get a little longer scoring play the way this first half has been going. But again, we'll see what they go with. And again, they've had another opportunity. Boy, Trey Appelt, they have used him more in this game already in this first half than they've really seen. Right. A lot of teams, as you're watching film, you forget about Appelt and the danger that he poses, and they're starting to use that now in the playoffs.
Clock at 3:52 to go here in the first half. Ainsworth has it, first down and quite a bit back into Loomis territory. Carter Nelson looking to run this one. He's going to get to the outside. He's got the blocking, and he is going to go. And we have some extracurricular stuff going on, but it is going to be a touchdown, no flags.
42 more.
Big play. As you mentioned, first down and 26 means nothing in 8-man football. 54-20 Ainsworth, back up by 34. They had that lead at 40-6. Now lead at 54-20 and a 2-point try coming up. I wasn't for sure if we're going to have a flag in the backfield, as it looked like Morgan Kinney and Clay Boer were going at each other. They let the play go on. No flag and a touchdown Bulldogs with 3:43 to go in the first half.
But again, Cody, it was just fantastic blocking by the edge. That lead back gets out there to become the lead blocker, the deep back, and then that block on the edge. And again, when Carter turns that corner and there's nobody right on his legs and he gets that big frame moving, he is not stoppable.
And he's going to get out and in to the right side, in for the 2. So this is going to be the biggest lead of the ball game for the Ainsworth Bulldogs on the 2-point run in after Nelson gets that 42-yard touchdown run with 3:43 to go. It's 56-20, 3:43 to go in the first half on our Tri-County Bank scoreboard.
Allen Monuments of Ainsworth offer permanent legacies that memorialize the passing of a loved one. The monument you choose can be customized to reflect the life of your departed one. Serving you with dignity, Allen Monuments of Ainsworth.
If you have a demand for concrete, call on Ainsworth Ready Mix to get your project started. Residential, commercial, or industrial concrete jobs, they're committed to providing quality product at an affordable price at Ainsworth Ready Mix, proud supporter of Bulldog Athletics.
Three River Communications, serving Ainsworth and the surrounding area with fiber services of internet, local long-distance phone service, and high-definition cable TV. Three River Communication is a proud supporter of the Ainsworth Bulldogs.
Greg, 77 at kickoff. I tell you what, so far, knock on wood, no cramping by either team and no serious injuries by other teams here. But my goodness, it is warm out there.
This has been a game of attrition here in the first half as far as all of the big plays. And, you know, it's a warm day, and it's going to be interesting tallying up these first half yardage totals for both teams, but especially for the Bulldogs. Cody, Ainsworth has 56 points, and they have 10 first downs.
Wow.
So that tells you the big plays in this game that
They have 8 touchdowns, so there's 8 first downs.
Well, one of those on the pick 6. But
yeah, that's right. Yes, that's
really,
right.
it's been about every first down's been a touchdown play.
Still 77 degrees out at East City Park here in Ainsworth. Winds out the west-northwest at 6. Carter Nelson to put the foot into it. This one going to be fielded at the 1. It's going to be dropped at the 1. Going to be.
Yeah, it did cross the goal line, so they're
okay.
going to put it to the 15.
Well, that might be good news for Cale Nelson,
yeah,
who grabbed it at the 1, dropped, or it went across. I thought was the one on the far left, but touchback it is. And with 3:40 to go, we'll see if the Ainsworth defense can get a stop or if the Loomis Wolves can get themselves right back in this one here.
Well, Cody, you know, one of the other things we talked about in the pregame was the turnover battle. Ainsworth, in 2 of its bigger games, had turned it over 3 times in the first half against both Elgin Public, Pope John, and St. Mary's. In this game, the Bulldogs have picked off 3 passes from Loomis, and 2 of those have led to scores.
All right, quarterback, empty backfield, Clay Meyer. Nobody back, 5 yards. Ainsworth is 3 yards with their furthest back player. They're going to go with a quarterback pass, and the quarterback going to keep it, and he's going to be knocked down after 2, but we have we may have an illegal formation and a flag by the line judge.
Boy, Cody, they're just not able to block Trey Appelt. Meyer initially wanted to throw that one deep, and Appelt was just all over him, and so he had to try to kind of make a move to get around Trey, and Trey tracked him down after a gain of 5. We'll check the flag. It is an illegal formation. So that will cost the Loomis 5 yards. Just their 3rd penalty of the first half. Bulldogs have committed 3 as well. It's still 3:30 to go, 56-20. But, Cody, you mentioned for Ainsworth, it's a big defensive stand because if you can get a stop before the half, you'll start that second half with a running clock again after the Wolves had closed to 20.
And the Wolves are playing hard football. Yeah. And you know what? Ainsworth's had some guys hobble off here.
Yeah, they have.
And that's one thing that no matter what the score is for either team, you want to remain healthy.
So the Wolves will be backed up to their 10, 1st and 15. 3:30 to go in the half. Bulldogs 56-20. Ainsworth led 22-6 at the end of 1. They have outscored the Wolves 34-14 in the second quarter.
All right, we'll see. It looks like I'm trying to see. The numbers getting hard to see, but off to the left side will be Tromke as well as Bohr. Again, Ainsworth still nobody back 5 yards at all here on the defense. Meyer looking. He's going to try running it up the middle. Ainsworth sniffs that one out. He breaks a couple tackles. Boy, what a tough run for about 3 yards for Meyer before he's finally brought down by Tragan McNally.
Yeah, Holloway was in there hanging on too, but
4
he got
yards
past Carter Nelson. Carter came in and Carter gets up kind of holding his wrist as well.
That's the same wrist that got hurt in Boyd County.
So it's going to be a gain of 4 for Meyer. But again, he had to fight off 3 Bulldogs to get those 4 yards.
2:35 and counting here in the first half. 56-20, our first half score right now.
Tell you what, if you like offensive football, you're at the right place today. If you're at East City Park or listening to us either on the video stream of this one or on KBRB.
Again, Ainsworth's deepest guy is 3 yards back. That's Carter Nelson at linebacker here. Quarterback going to go back to pass. Here's a double move. Going to throw this one right in the middle of the field and incomplete for the intended target. Cale Nelson, he had his man beat again.
No, that was really good. Actually, that was pretty good coverage by Tragan. He was step for step with him. I think if that ball would have been where Nelson could have caught it, Tragan could have made a play on that one. He was right in the hip pocket that time. Tragan's been beat a couple of times. He's got one interception, but he really was step for step, it looked like.
I think if that pass is there, of course, you got a new guy playing at quarterback from the beginning of the year, and he can throw a decent ball. That's 210-pound Clay Meyer.
Well, that's one of the first times, Cody, that Meyer actually had time to set up and throw. He could set his feet and step into the throw, and he got a little too much on it.
Right.
He's been under duress so much, he's had to throw off that back foot and kind of sail him, and that one he actually had time to throw for the first time.
Going to go with a single set back behind the quarterback. Here comes a blitz. Here comes Blumenstock. Screen play is going to be caught by Bohr. And now Ainsworth's going to try and make an open field tackle. Great job by McNally on an open field. But that, again, a screen play that Meyer had to throw it about 30 yards across field. But wide open was Bohr.
It's that same throwback, Cody, that they scored on early. The Bulldogs got back to it this time. It's the third time they've run it. It worked the first time for the 48-yard touchdown. That time the Bulldogs get to it. It's going to be a gain of about 7, to Bohr, and that'll set up 4th down. And I don't anticipate that the Wolves are probably going to punt this one on 4th and about 4. I think they've shown that basically they're going to use their 4 downs.
See if they maybe try to get Ainsworth to jump off sides and get that automatic first down. There is 1:25 to go here in the first half, and it looks like it is going to be a new looks like maybe a new quarterback. No, they're going to still go in that formation with Clay Meyer.
Yeah, the first time they've really run split backs. They've got Meyer, and then they had running backs on either side.
Delay a game.
Yeah, that's going to basically make this a lot tougher to try to go for it deep in your own territory. I knew it was late getting the call in on what they decided to do, and so this is going to push it back to about 4th and 8.5. And now you wonder with 1:17 if they're going to try to go back into punt formation. It looks like they will.
Meyer will go back. 1:17 to go here in the first half. And it looks like McNally going to go back to his 20. Meyer will punt this one away. And Ainsworth will watch this one kick out of bounds, and it comes into play. Boy, that's a different little side spin there.
Right. It's going to be about the 20 or a little farther potentially. See where they mark it.
18.
So not a bad play by Loomis with 1:08, but boy, the way that's gone, that's plenty of time for the Bulldogs. Again, with 68 seconds left, up by 36. Ainsworth gets a stop defensively, and now with 62 yards between them and another score, see what the Bulldogs do. They do have Morgan Kinney back out there. Ainsworth is short a guy or two.
They only have 6 out there.
Yeah, I don't like having to count after I made a fool of myself in an 11-man game with the 9 guys out on the field saying they had too many. But now they've got a full complement of players out there, it looks like.
1:08 to go here. Quarterback is going to be Carter Nelson. Off the left side is Owen Blumenstock as well as Ferno. Nelson going to look to go to the left side, looking for some blocking. And he gets through one guy before he finally finished off after about looks like maybe a 5-yard pickup to the 23 with 56 seconds to go in the first half.
Strung out pretty well that time by Loomis. And again, Cody, how many times have we called the freshman Coy Meyer? He makes a stop after a gain of 5 by Carter.
What do we got here?
A quick whistle.
Well, I think what they're going to call is illegal substitution on Ainsworth as the center ran out. Nobody went to the huddle. They're saying, what?
Well, it's some kind of procedural penalty on Ainsworth.
Oh, no, I see why. What happened was they're saying that the guy that ran out came across the line of scrimmage when the ball was ready for play.
Okay.
But you got to do that sometimes when you're coming out for play. But that's what they call.
So 2nd and 10 now.
They switched centers. Ian Finley is in.
Yeah, he was out. Blumenstock was the center on the last play. Riggin was.
Yeah.
So.
They'll wind the clock here. Go to Nelson. Nelson looking on the give and go. He'll throw this one up for grabs.
That was dangerous.
Incomplete. Yes, very dangerous.
They had Carter down around his legs, and he just with his arms tried to throw it, and he didn't get anything on it. And Clay Bohr, if he could have got a hold of that ball, would have had a lot of green grass and 6.
Nelson steps back maybe 2 yards instead of let the pressure come back. He had wide open Morgan Kinney, wide open with nobody within 20 yards of him, but he stands in the pocket. He doesn't get out of there very much unless he's going to run. It is incomplete. 3rd down, what looked like like maybe Ainsworth's going to get a chance to run out the clock here. Loomis Wolves may get the ball back as they have 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, you wonder if Ainsworth will just try to keep the ball on the ground here with 42 seconds left. They'll send Twins to either side of the formation, though, and spread it out.
I don't think so. They're going to throw a screen to Nelson. Nelson is going to go down for a loss of about 6 yards. It does stay in play. Oh, they're actually going to give him forward progress to the 15.
Good one-on-one tackle outside by Gunnar Hadley. They just throw that. We saw that play so successful, just that little flanker screen pass out to the wide receiver, and that time Hadley one-on-one just made a tackle on Carter. You're going to bank on Carter when you draw that play up, breaking that first tackle, but Hadley gets him around the waist and spins him down, and now Loomis takes the timeout with 23 seconds left, and they'll force Ainsworth into a punt formation on 4th and 13.
Yeah, Greg, and what I'm saying here, I like high speeds. You know, we're not out of this game. I know it is 36 points here, 23 seconds going the half, but you know what, guys? Let's keep fighting. Let's let's get right back into this one. A block punt, a snap over the head, anything could happen right here, and I like the timeout by Coach Spees. Again, you said, oh, maybe Ainsworth will keep it on the ground. They went with the pass play, but still the timeouts. But the Bulldogs like to try to get it to their guys, Carter Nelson and Tragan McNally.
Well, and Cody, if you're Coach Spees, the big thing you're looking at is, boy, it'd be nice to get one more score on the board this half so we don't start the second half with that running clock.
Right.
Because it just limits your possessions when that clock runs on plays out of bounds and incomplete passes, and it just really starts limiting you when you're down 36. So I'm sure Coach Spees is saying, what can we do to get the ball in the end zone so we have regular clock rules to start the second half? So Carter will go into punt formation.
All right, and back to receive this one is Cale Nelson. No blitz. Punt by Carter Nelson. Going to hit about the 25, go to the 20, inside the 20 at about the 16-yard line. Beautiful
Great punt.
punt.
Yep.
That basically from the 15 to the 16 of Loomis. Yes, it was on the 15.
Yeah, that's 40 plus
49
40
yards. 49.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's a big punt because now with 13 seconds left, you're Loomis, you've maybe got time for a play or two, but now you don't want to get...
Do you just say Carter Nelson back free safety at about the midfield?
And if you're Loomis, you don't want to get too aggressive because you've thrown a couple interceptions over the middle that have hurt you, so... I'm sure they'll try to see if they can't get this ball in the end zone, but down 56-20, I'm guessing they're going to use these 13 seconds and see if they can break another big one.
Yeah.
They do have Carter back as a free safety now.
Well, you called that as he's about 14 yards deep here. Meyer going to go back. Here comes a little bit of a pressure. This one can go back deep. They have double coverage, and it's going to be cut down at the 30 and double coverage. That into the hands of Gunnar Hadley with 6 seconds to go. Carter Nelson just kind of camped out there about that 20-yard line. He looked over, and his friends had double coverage. They turned it.
34 yards,
yes.
Code. Hadley's got his 4th catch. He's over 100 yards receiving in the first half.
Timeout. Let's take one with them. 6 seconds to go in the half. 56-20. Ainsworth leads. Loomis, though, 30 yards away from trying to get another touchdown in the half.
No overpriced lawn services, no headaches. Call on Steck Lawn Care in Ainsworth. Grant Steck offers mowing services, landscaping, seasonal cleanup, and more. You can even reserve your mow day and rate for next season now. Call or text 402-760-1808.
Frontier Diesel of Ainsworth is your best choice for diesel truck and big rig repairs. Bruce Dannett and crew provide long-lasting repair work that stands up to the demands placed on your heavy-duty equipment. Dependable service, repairs done right. Frontier Diesel of Ainsworth.
6 seconds to go in the first half. Kodaguchi here with Greg Kinsey on KBRB FM 92.7 Ainsworth, Nebraska. The web, kbrb.net. Glad to have you along. And now do you just go ahead and send Carter Nelson back at the end zone, Greg, and just watch the play develop because it's 6 seconds, and right now basically it's going to be a shot to the end zone is about all you got.
Well, and the Bulldogs had double coverage on Hadley on that last play,
yes,
and Hadley just out-battled the 2 shorter Bulldogs for that football for 34 yards and gives them a chance maybe to throw it in the end zone here from the Bulldog 30.
Here comes the blitz. Quarterback, plenty of time now. Here comes Appelt. The pressure is there. Now the ball is going to be thrown up in the air, and it is going to be dropped. Nearly caught by number 18, Cale Nelson on a Hail Mary. Boy, that one nearly caught back there.
They got behind the Bulldogs with 4 players in the end zone. It was a true Hail Mary. I thought Trey Appelt was going to complete the sack, but again, Meyer's a big kid to try to bring down, and Trey had both hands on him but just couldn't get him to the ground. Meyer broke free of it and hoisted it toward the end zone, and really a chance for Cale Nelson to come up with that one. But the Ainsworth Bulldogs, a 56-point first half, and they will have a running clock to start the second half. Bulldogs 22 in the first, 34 in the second. Loomis with 6 points in the first quarter, 14 in the second. Your Tri-County Bank halftime score. Ainsworth leads 56-20. Our TCB halftime show comes up after this timeout.
Gary's Electric in Ainsworth specializes in farm and ranch wiring, whether it be new installation or service on existing electrical equipment. When you need an electrical job done and you want it done right, call Gary's Electric in Ainsworth.
Whether high school, college, or the pros, the game is always on at the 402 Bar on Main Street in Ainsworth. Check out the game in the high-definition 86-inch screens. Not a bad seat in the house. That's the 402 Bar, Main Street in Ainsworth. Stop in and see Mike Schrod, your State Farm insurance agent on Main Street in Ainsworth for all of your home, auto, and life insurance needs. That's State Farm Insurance on Main Street in Ainsworth. Good service at a good price. See Mike Schrod, your State Farm insurance agent in Ainsworth.
Experience, reputation, and results. This is Laura Lee Frank at Bruner Frank Shoemaker, LLC. We pride ourselves on personal attention and solid results for your legal needs. We have law offices in both Kearney and Ainsworth for your convenience. Give us a call today.
Everything for your building needs is available from Century Lumber in Ainsworth. Whether you were starting from scratch, remodeling, or just doing a little maintenance, the necessary supplies are waiting for you at Century Lumber on Main Street in Ainsworth.
For all of your livestock or grain hauling needs, call on Thad Jones Trucking of Ainsworth. Well-maintained trucks and trailers, skilled, reliable, and experienced drivers. Thad Jones Trucking. Phone 402-760-1964.
Get the good stuff at Buckles Automotive, your Napa store on Main Street in Ainsworth. We carry a complete line of passenger car and light truck parts, as well as heavy-duty truck parts for the big rigs used on your farm or ranch. Buckles Automotive in Ainsworth. One call, that's all.
And here on KBRB, FM 92.7, Ainsworth, Nebraska, as well as our website, kbrb.net. Glad to have you along. I'm Cody Gucci. And joining us here tonight, Greg Kinsey. Actually, this afternoon we head into evening hours at 5:35. It took us an hour and a half to put the first half in the books. Ainsworth leads at 56-20. Time now for the halftime report brought to you by the Tri-County Bank. Are you renovation ready? You can use your home's equity for that special project. At the Tri-County Bank, they'll help transition your hard-earned home equity into secured financing for a variety of needs. Stop by the Tri-County Bank in Stewart, Atkinson, Bassett, or O'Neill, or visit tcbhomemortgage.com to get started building your future together. Remember, FDIC, equal housing lender. Well, we go through the scoring drives. Ainsworth Bulldogs will get the ball in 2 plays, go 37 yards. A TD pass from McNally to Appelt, and a 2-point run for Carter Nelson made it 8-0 with just less than 40 seconds in the first quarter. Then with 7:11 to go in the first quarter, Ainsworth gets a 28-yard TD pass from McNally to Nelson, and the 2-point try is good, and it makes it 16-0 Ainsworth. Not too much later, with 5:27 to go in the first quarter, it is the Loomis Wolves getting a 48-yard TD pass from their quarterback, Clay Meyer, to Gunnar Hadley. The 2-point try was no good, made it 16-6. And then Ainsworth will score the last touchdown of the first quarter on a 60-yard TD run on a 4th down punt situation for the Bulldogs. Carter Nelson gets a 60-yard TD run, 2-point fail, made it 22-6 at the end of one. Ainsworth then gets 3 unanswered scores in the second. With 11:35 to go in the second, it's Carter Nelson with a 17-yard interception return for a touchdown. 2-point try, no good, made it 34-6. Then Ainsworth gets with 8:25 to go in the second quarter, a 31-yard TD pass from Nelson to Appelt. 2-point try, no good, made it 40-6. Ainsworth looked like Ainsworth's going to close the door in the first half, but not so fast, as the Loomis Wolves get 2 touchdowns in a row with 7:02 to go in the first half. It's a 1-yard TD run by Clay Meyer, and Meyer to Bohr for the 2-point try, made it 40-14. It's the Wolves in, covering up an onside kick, and then they'll get a 45-yard TD pass from Meyer to Hadley once again. That duo combined for 2 through the air. Yeah, the 2-point try was no good, and it erased an Ainsworth 34-point lead and made it 40-20 Ainsworth. And then Ainsworth comes out and gets a couple more touchdowns after interceptions by the Bulldogs. But also with 4:59 to go in the first half, it is a 67-yard TD run for McNally on a 3rd and long play. 2-point run for Nelson made it 48-20. And then with 3:43 to go in the first half, it's a 42-yard TD run from Nelson, 2-point run by Nelson. Our score at the half, 56-20 on our Tri-County Bank scoreboard. We're 9:38 to go in this halftime period. Greg Kinsey, I'm not sure if he had to get the calculator out, but nearly a half mile of offense had to be put up in the first half.
Oh, sorry. Were you talking to me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just replying to a couple of things here.
I said about a half mile of offense put up in the first half.
Oh, you want me to go through some stats?
Yes.
I've got them here. So
let's go through them.
How about Loomis running 39 plays in the first half to 23 for Ainsworth. Loomis 208 yards of offense. The Bulldogs 379 yards of offense on 23 offensive snaps. Loomis, 6 first downs in the first half. The Bulldogs had 10. Loomis penalized 4 times in the first half for 27 yards. The Bulldogs penalized 4 times for 51 yards. Turnover margin, a big one in this one. We told you in those 2 tight games that Ainsworth had against Elgin Public, Pope John, and St. Mary's, they were -3 in the turnover margin in the first half of both those games. They're +3 in the turnover column in this one, and that's a big story in this one. Carter Nelson, 2 interceptions, one of those a pick 6 from 17 yards. Tragan McNally with an interception. +3 are the Bulldogs in turnover margin. Well, you went through the scoring plays. Offensively, we can tell you Loomis, 19 rushing plays in the first half, just 25 yards. Their longest run was 10 yards in that first half. They threw the ball 20 times in the first half, did Clay Meyer. He completed 8 of those 20 for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, both of those to Gunnar Hadley of 48 and 45 yards, and he did throw those 3 interceptions. Hadley with 4 catches for 140 yards in the first half and 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 36 yards for Cale Nelson, a catch for Ben Tromke for no yards, and a catch for Clay Bohr for 7 yards. Rushing-wise, Clay Meyer, 12 carries, 31 yards. One of those was a lost 10-yard sack. He did have a 1-yard touchdown run. 5 carries for a loss of 3 yards for Gunnar Hadley. Hadley had some big plays in the passing game, but they really bottled him up in the running game, did the Bulldog defense, and then it was 2 carries for a loss of 3 yards for Coy Meyer, the freshman. 19 rushes, just 25 yards, 8 of 20 passing, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown on the ground, 39 total plays, 208 yards of offense for Loomis. For the Ainsworth Bulldogs, 12 rushes for 273 yards. McNally and Carter Nelson combined to go 5 for 11 passing, 106 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Rushing-wise, Carter carried it 7 times. 3 of those went for touchdowns of 60, 64, and 42. His 7 carries, 173 yards, and over 160 of those yards were on his 3 touchdown runs. Tragan McNally, 3 carries for 96 yards, including that 67-yard electric touchdown run on 3rd and 12 around the right end. 1 carry for 6 yards for Jacob Held, 1 carry for a loss of 2 yards for Morgan Kenny, 12 rushes for 273 yards. Passing-wise, McNally 3 for 4 through the air, 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. Carter Nelson 2 for 7 throwing the football for 44 yards and a touchdown. Trey Appelt has 3 catches for 74 yards. 2 of those have gone for scores from 37 and 31 yards. 2 catches for Carter Nelson for 25 yards, the one a 28-yard touchdown. 1 catch for McNally for 13 yards. The Bulldogs have run 23 offensive snaps for 379 yards of offense.
That's
Let's just do the math on that quick, Cody. 379 yards on 23 snaps. The Bulldogs are averaging 16.5 yards every time they snap the football. That has just been big play after big play, really, for both these teams. You know, if you told Loomis we're going to go on the road against an undefeated team and put up 20 points in the first half, they're probably going to say, we'll take our chances with that. And it's just been Ainsworth with so many big plays in the running and passing game. 3 rushing touchdowns for over 60 yards, at a fourth for 42, and touchdown passes of 28, 31, and 37 yards. The Bulldogs, Cody, have not had a touchdown of shorter than 28 yards offensively in that first half. They did have the 17-yard pick six by Carter.
Halftime report brought to you by the Tri-County Banks. Greg, should we take a break? Come back with more in just a moment. Again at the half here in Ainsworth, Nebraska. The 8-0 number 3 seed Ainsworth Bulldogs 56. The number 14 seed 3-5 Loomis 20. 56-20 Ainsworth at the half. We'll come back with more of our halftime report from East City Park on KBRB Ainsworth, Nebraska, and some scores from around the state of Nebraska when we return.
Your first choice for exceptional care is Rangeland Rehab, with locations in Ainsworth and Bassett. Physical therapist Brian Doak, along with professional staff, are trained on many techniques to help improve mobility and decrease pain. For appointments, call 402-387-1600.
Red and White Market is your local community connection for high-quality foods, friendly service, and great prices. Make sure to grab a delicious piping hot lunch. The deli starts serving at 11:30 weekdays. You can have it to stay or to go from Red and White Market on Highway 20 in Ainsworth.
Your Zematic by Lindsay dealer offers replacement parts for any brand of pivot, installation and training, superior service when you need it.
Your local Zematic by Lindsay dealer is Ainsworth Electric Motor, located just 1 mile east of Ainsworth on Highway 20. Call 387-1071.
Locally owned and operated since 1953, Nelson Furniture on Main Street in Valentine, where more than the price is right. You'll find a great selection, personal service, and all the elements to make your house a home. Delivery available and financing available to qualified buyers from Nelson Furniture.
Well, here on KBRB at the half, let's take a look at some scores around the state of Nebraska. Class D1 and D2 football games are going on right now. It is Sandy Creek leading Southern Valley High School. That one actually went final. That one's final, 24-18. Sandy Creek over Southern Valley, it looks like. It is Dundee County Stratton at halftime, leading Axtell 42-0. Here at the half, Ainsworth over Loomis, 56-20. It's halftime where St. Francis leads Sacred Heart 36-6. Those scores are what we have available. Here's Elm Creek in quarter two. Elm Creek leading Mullen 22-0. I believe there should be another game in progress. Elkhorn Valley at St. Pac, South Loop at Kennesaw, Bridgeport at Sutherland, Lawrence Nelson also in action here. Those games do not have scores available, but are in progress here throughout the state of Nebraska. Yeah, Neely Oakdale hosting Cambridge. Boy, there is a travel. Cambridge to Neely Oakdale, too. Seeing where Bridgeport traveled all the way to Summerlin over there by Ewing, Nebraska. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We have keys to the second half right after this on KBRB.
This is Dane Sears, Ag Loan Officer with Homestead Bank. The ag bankers at Homestead Bank understand the risks and rewards of farming and ranching. We can help you look ahead and plan for a season of success. Stop in or call to visit with one of our experienced bankers today to start your journey. Homestead Bank, member FDIC.
Quality care for quality cattle. At RK Cattle Company of Long Pine, they have the facilities and equipment to meet the ever-changing needs of the cattle feeding industry. Call Brian Ortner to learn more at RK Cattle Company, phone 402-273-4424.
Todd Flynn Law Office, PC LLC, with offices at 309 North Main Street in Ainsworth. When you need legal assistance and advice on personal and business concerns, contact Todd Flynn at Todd Flynn Law Office, 309 North Main Street in Ainsworth.
Halftime here in Ainsworth, Nebraska, at East City Park on a warm evening, 77 degrees, winds out of the west-northwest, 6 miles per hour. Greg Kinsey said Summerlin leads Bridgeport 20-0 there in the second quarter there. That game started, an hour later than this game? My goodness. Well, Greg, let's go ahead and take a look at some keys of the second half brought to you by Ainsworth Motors here as Ainsworth went out to a 40-6 lead, but the Loomis Wolves came back, and I tell you what, they put up some points throwing the ball through the air. Let's go keys to the second half. First of all, for Loomis, down 56-20.
Well, Cody, for Loomis, the main thing is you've got to try. It's easier said than done, but you've got to try to limit those big plays. They've put Ainsworth into a couple scenarios where they were behind the chains. Bulldogs had a couple penalties, but each and every time it's been a big play from that Ainsworth offense, and in both the running and passing game. So, if you're Loomis, you've got to try to make Ainsworth sustain a drive and see if they have, make them put together 3-4 first downs instead of giving up these just massive chunk plays. And, when you're Loomis and you're down 36, you've got to take it a possession at a time. You get the ball to start the third quarter. You've got to go down and score, and you need to score fairly quickly because, first of all, that gets you back into running normal clock operation.
Right. Yeah, right.
Because otherwise this game's just going to melt away on you if the Bulldogs keep this 36-point lead or above 35. So that's a big key for Loomis. Take this first possession of the third quarter. Go down and get points on the board so that, first of all, you get the ball back into normal clock operation. We've seen this Loomis offense can put up points quickly, but they've got to find a couple more stops on the defensive side, and that starts by you've got to just find a way somehow to contain this big play offense from Ainsworth. For the Ainsworth Bulldogs, again, this first drive of the third quarter is equally important for you because if you can get a stop and maybe go down and get another score, you can start getting that second unit out there and save some legs on your starters. They've got a couple kids that have been getting some treatment, banged up a little bit, so the quicker you can maybe get them to the sideline, the better on a warm day, and you just don't want to see any kind of second half injury derail your your march here in this postseason. So for the Bulldogs, try to get a stop here on this opening drive, and then maybe go to work with the ground game and see if you can't elongate a drive, run some time off this clock, and kind of shorten this one here in the second half. Those would be your keys to the second half. And for Ainsworth, I think on the defensive side, you maybe make the adjustment a little bit with a 36-point lead to put somebody, to put somebody back there maybe as a little bit of a safety valve defensively. They've shown the Bulldogs that they have not given up much in the running game, and I don't think you need that extra guy in the box to stop the running game the way they were able to do so in the first half. So maybe in the second half, put that safety valve back there, put Carter back there as a center fielder, and give him the opportunity to stop a couple of the Loomis big play opportunities.
Keys of the second half brought to you by Ainsworth Motors. If you're feeling a little power hungry, check out the inventory lineup today. Your best and West Ford store. Ainsworth Motors, located East Highway 20 in Ainsworth. What a great lineup they have right now. Brand new and previously owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. They are also your authorized area dealer for Ariens Mowers and Chisholm Trail Bale Beds. Financing and city of options always available to qualified buyers. Ainsworth Motors. Come see why the difference is the dealer. It is North Platte St. Pat's leading Elkhorn Valley 21-0 in the second quarter. That another score update for you here on KBRB. Well, the clock winding down here, as Greg mentioned, it will be the Loomis Wolves to get the ball on the receiving side of things to start here in the third quarter. Carter Nelson, it looks like the first kicking unit will come out to the 30-yard line. They'll kick towards the sun. Standing back at about his 1-yard line once again will be Cale Nelson. And Greg, he's looked to be dangerous at times when he's been able to field a punt or a kick.
Yeah, it's a big weapon for Carter to be able to get that ball into the end zone and force them to start at the 15. That's usually worth about 10-plus yards in field position when you can get that kickoff into the end zone.
And here comes the kick from Nelson, and it is going to go over the head of Cale Nelson, and it will bring up first down and 10 for the Loomis Wolves. So the clock will wind and will continue to wind, barring a timeout, also a turnover on possessions. And right now, Ainsworth brings out that first unit here, and I will see Carter Nelson going to be back about 6-7 yards back deep here, as it looks like loaded up on the right side. And this is where they've come with that screen from the tight end on the left side, Greg Kinsey. And here is Clay Meyer. And the pass going to go with the screen, batted down by the
Trey
defensive
Appelt
play.
again. Boy, he's just in there immediately. I don't know if they're just letting him go because that was literally a shotgun snap, catch it and try to throw a screen, and Trey was there immediately and just batted that one
If
down.
he tries to catch it, maybe he catches it and he's in. But
that's tough to make when it's about a yard or two off the quarterback's hand. But what a great play there for Trey again.
I don't know if Coach Hansmeyer's listening or not, but I'm not sure if he learned that at cross country the last 2 years. Best of luck to the state cross country runners from our area. I'll be there in Kearney tomorrow. Boys Class D at noon, girls at 1 o'clock. Second down and 10. Clock again. Will wind with a 36-point lead for Ainsworth. Meyer going to go back to pass. He has some time. Here comes Loomis, going to throw it up to the middle, and it is going to be caught again for a first down. That is just great offense there for a first down. Getting inside, McNally was number 18. Cale Nelson going to go for about 12, 13 yards. It was on the 15.
Yep, 13 on that completion. Not bad coverage by Tragan. He was right there. He just gave up a little height to Cale Nelson, and Cale was able to just out-jump him for that football. That's not bad coverage, really, for Tragan, just a better play by the offensive side. But, again, you see the clock winding, and that's why this drive is so important for Loomis, down 36, that they put some points on the board on this drive.
And here comes a quick pass and a fake. Now a screen pass. Ainsworth's going to eat up. McNally says, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a loss of about 7, Greg.
Great play, Tragan. He sniffed that out, saw they were trying to set up the screen to Hadley, and he was just in there. As soon as Hadley caught that ball, Tragan had him right around the waist and just churned the legs backwards. It's going to be a loss of 7 on the catch by Hadley. And just an excellent play defensively by Tragan McNally.
Borrowed that from Lee Corso. Hopefully he's doing well. Huskers off this week, so again, no Husker football. Volleyball team straight 3-set sweep over Purdue last night. Second down and 16 here. They have listed, and we have, what do we have? A stoppage of play. Official timeout for what? Landon Hallway, does he have blood?
Yep, might be a case they're going to have to go tape up an arm or a leg or wherever. That's probably the case. So Jacob Held will come in for him before this 2nd and 16 play. Boy, just a sun-drenched after. Just does not feel like playoff football weather.
No, it
that
does
is for
not.
sure.
Clock will wind down to 9:40 here in the third quarter. Ainsworth up 56-20. Meyer back to pass. He has time this time. He's going to throw it to the middle. Picked off. That's your linebacker, Morgan Kinney. He's slicing and dicing up to about the 25, down at the 20, where he is going to be brought down by the quarterback, Clay Meyer. Another interception. Great job just sitting back in that zone coverage was number 21, Morgan Kinney.
Yeah, Cody, he just kept sinking. He was sinking deeper. That was one time where Meyer had time to throw, and Morgan just continued to sink in the middle of the field. And I don't think Meyer ever saw him. He was locked in on the receiver, who was coming across deep, and he tried to throw that kind of on a line, and Morgan just rose up from that deep linebacker spot as he sunk back and was right there to make that catch.
Andrew's going to look at the official before they snap the ball. It's going to be Nelson going to look. He's going to hit Appelt. Appelt at the 15, brought down about the 8-yard line, and we're inside the West Plains Bank zone for only like the second time in the game. That'll go from the 20 down to, about the
11 yards for Trey on that
8 or 9
first
yard
down
line?
catch. Yep, first and goal at the 9. Yes, in the West Plains Bank zone. Is this the Bulldogs' first trip? I think it is. I think it's their first trip to the West Plains Bank zone after
Has to be.
56-point first half. They were not inside the 15 on a single snap.
Split out to left side. B. McNally. Pistol formation. Kinney off the left side hip. There you're going to go with Carter Nelson. He's going to run forward. He's going to get up to about the 5-yard line. Just shy of that, maybe 4 yards. Second and goal from the 5 for the Bulldogs.
4 yards on that play, and again, they're just right after the legs of Carter. It's really the only way you can bring him down. 6'5", about 220, 220, somewhere around in there, and really the only way you can stop him is to get a hold of one of the legs, and that's what most teams have tried to do. So second and goal, ball just outside the 5, 56-20, 7:40 in a quick-moving third quarter, Coach.
Jacob Held off the left side. High snap. Held will have it. He's looking for some blocks. He'll try cutting it up into about the 4-yard line. And Ainsworth just got...
Yeah, there comes the flag.
Yeah.
That was Arian Gucci got hit late.
Well, I don't know. His words might have cost the Bulldogs.
I don't know. I think Gavin or Riggin Ludicky bowled him over the pile after that one. Let's check it out. We'll wait and see. But I think they're going to call a late hit on...
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be a 2-yard gain for held on the direct snap, and then
a yard and a half penalty.
Yeah, it'll stay. The down, I believe, will count, so it was after the play. So
third down and a long one.
Really be a 1-yard penalty called against Loomis there, and it's going to set up 3rd and goal from about, a yard and a half?
Yeah, it is about the yard and a half. Probably you can give them 2 if they get in there. If they get in there. Andrews can go with the pistol formation again. Looks like quarterback is going to be Jacob Held here. Nope, actually going to be Nelson. Nelson going to look for a block on the outside, and he's going to go in untouched from, we'll give it to, not so fast, they say again, as we have a penalty at the line of scrimmage.
It's looking like a hold against Ainsworth, so wipe that touchdown off the board. So take away that, I was just going to...
That comes from the back judge over there, and the play went clear to the right, so somewhere up around the center would have to been, but that's going to be a 10-yard penalty.
I was just going to say, Cody, that 2-yard touchdown ruined Carter's per-play touchdown average there of 60, 64, and 42.
Right.
But this one's going to push it back to the 12, and it'll be 3rd and goal, 7:05. But look at how quick this quarter melting away, Cody, with that running clock. We're already under 7 minutes. We probably had 3 or 4 touchdowns on the boards in 5 minutes of the first half.
All right, so it's 3rd down and 12. Going to just throw this one up in the air. Carter Nelson trying to battle it. They're going to say all the contact in the world. No. Carter Nelson looks at the line judge over there. The head linesman go, are you kidding me?
Well, it was. I thought it was a pretty good play, Cale Nelson. He made a play on the football. Yes, there was contact, but I think, Cody, there was contact both ways. I think they were both kind of jockeying with each other, and Cale Nelson made a play on the football, batted it away, and in a play like that, I think you're going to see them let that go. I think if you're Tragan McNally, the thing you've got to do on that play is throw it up higher, because that was down there to where Nelson could make a play on it. You throw that higher, and they won't have that chance.
Nelson going to throw this one into the dirt, and it's going to be a turnover on down. 6:12 to go here in the third quarter. It'll be Loomis a football here. Ainsworth had it right there on the 1-yard line. You don't usually see holding on the 1-yard line, but that backed Ainsworth up, and that put him into deep territory, 56-20. See if Loomis can get an answer here.
Yeah, the penalty takes a touchdown off the board for Ainsworth, and you're right back in that scenario where if Loomis can go down and get points, you're back to that regular clock operation. But we've already melted half this third quarter away, and each team's had just one possession. So now Loomis takes over at its own 12, down 36.
Screen play out to the left side again here, and that is going to be caught. I'm trying to see who it is.
I think it was Hadley again.
Nope,
No, it
number
wasn't.
18,
It was
Cale
Nelson. Yep, Cale got that one.
Short pass will behind the line of scrimmage, and then gets it for about 4. 2nd down and 6.
So it was Carter Nelson in there to make the tackle, Cody, on that screen play.
5:20 to go here in the third quarter, 56-20. Wolves moving quickly here. They're going to go. They're going to look like a double route deep play. Quarterback nearly sacked, and then he's going to reach for the first down marker, and he may have it.
Boy, he was pressured again by Regan Blumenstock on the blind side. Landon Holloway trips him up, but he's going to have enough for a first down.
Looks like he's going to get
out
7.
to about the 22-yard line. So, yeah, that is going to be about a gain of
6.
Yeah, for Meyer there.
So that's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the Loomis 22. They have the football empty backfield. Here comes a blitz by Holloway. They miss him, and Meyer's trying to shed a few players. He sheds 4 players before he's knocked out of bounds by Carter Nelson.
Yeah, Ethan Furno had a chance at him. Regan Blumenstock had a chance at him. Nobody could get him to the ground. He's going to end up picking up 3 yards. That was all Meyer. I tell you what, this Bulldog defensive line has gone through this pretty good-sized Loomis line, just like they're not there. Meyer's had pressure on him immediately.
Yeah, but the tackles there on Clay Meyer up around the shoulder pads, and he's just too much of a stud. Here comes Meyer on the pass. Here comes the blitz. The ball's up in the air, and it's going to be caught by Tomke. That is going to
It's close to a first down, and Morgan Kinney makes the tackle, but boy, Meyer slow to get up there as he was hit hard again.
By Butch Gucci, maybe, or on the far side.
It's going to be a gain of 6 on that completion to Tromke, his second catch, and it'll set up 3rd and 1. But, boy, you see, Code, already under 4 minutes here in the third quarter. This clock, when you're 36 down, you really needed that first score touchdown just to try to get it back to normal operation.
Empty backfield once again for Clay Meyer. Here comes Ainsworth with the blitz, and this one will be thrown up in the air, and it is going to be caught and almost breaking free from the tackle, ball loose, and Ainsworth is going to get the ball recovered.
Owen Blumenstock poked it away from behind on Clay Bohr.
On a jump ball.
Tragan McNally comes up with the fumble recovery, so it's going to go on a completion. That's good for about 26 yards, Cody, but then the fumble that's recovered by the Bulldogs. So a good job by, it was Owen Blumenstock who poked that away from Bohr from behind.
What a catch, though.
Yeah, he caught it in traffic, just a nice leaping catch, but didn't secure it at the end of that, and the Bulldogs will take over at the 21, and that is the 4th turnover by Loomis in this game.
Ainsworth will keep in at quarterback. Carter Nelson off to his right hip is going to be Morgan Kinney. Morgan will try to cut it out to the outside, and he's brought down after about a 5-yard pickup. It looked like he was going to go straight through the big gap that was there, and then bounced it out to the outside for 2nd down and 5.
So Morgan getting a couple carries. That's just his 2nd carry. We knew he got banged up against Boyd County, so just nice to see that he's able to, first of all, be in uniform, and he's been out there on the defensive end, got an interception in this quarter, so good to see he's such a good athlete for this Ainsworth team and adds to the depth. So 2nd and 5 Bulldogs.
Nelson with the direct snap, going to look for a block, and there's going to be a holding call. That was right in front of us. Nelson's going to be off to the races. Throws one guy down to the ground, leaps him and out of bounds. That happened right here in front of us. Looked like Regan Blumenstock let go of the player, but when you say let go, that means there was a holding. And that's going to be about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
So, boy, it's going to take away quite an effort from Carter Nelson as he shed about 3 tackles as he got. I thought when he bounced that outside there was nothing there, but he just wouldn't go out of bounds, and he just kept shedding tackles along the near sideline. It's going to go for naught.
Well, the holding hanky has been the demise of the Bulldogs. That's about the only thing
on the
you
edge.
can say.
Yeah, really. There's been several of those holding calls out on the edge for Ainsworth in this game. And that one is going to cost them. Boy, it's going to be all the way back to the 13-yard line, and that play started at the 26, so that's 13 more against the Bulldogs.
And they got
6
to
penalties.
the Wolves' 30-yard line.
Yeah, 6 penalties for Ainsworth now in this game.
A lot of holding penalties out there, and off to the left side will go Owen Blumenstock, right side, Carter Nelson. Looks like the heat going to be coming on McNally. McNally looking. He's going to throw it in the middle. Too short for the intended target. Boy, Ainsworth really throwing the ball short here today.
Yeah, I tell you what, Blumenstock had the inside leverage on the defender, Cale Nelson. The pass was just short over the middle on that crossing route. It was a chance there, but couldn't get it to go. How many wasps are we up to now on the kill counter here this afternoon?
We're getting close here. It's, you know it's supposed to be
warm. They're trying to find a place to get inside for the winter.
That's right. It's supposed to be 47 degrees on Monday. 3rd down and long for the Bulldogs here on their own 13-yard line after a holding penalty. And it is going to be McNally looking. He's going to throw a screen pass to Appelt. Appelt, he gets back to original line of scrimmage. Bulldog down at about the 26-yard line.
Good play for Tromke there as he saves the 1st down. They had that set up well to Trey. That'll go from the 13 out to the 26. Good for 13 on the catch by Appelt on the throw from McNally. But 4th and 6, Bulldogs will go into punt formation. But, Cody, there's 30 seconds left in the quarter. That's how quickly this moves with the running clock. And you're going to see Ainsworth take this one down as far as they can before they snap it likely here. They will have to snap it before the end of the quarter.
It was under 40 seconds when the ball was put into play, so we're waiting. It's down to 13. Yep, it can have 3 seconds, it looks like. And here is going to be the punt by Carter Nelson. This one going to be fielded by Cale Nelson. Nope, he's not. He's going to let it go to the right side. And it's going to be down inside the 15, around the 14-yard line. Nice punt for Carter Nelson.
That closes out the 3rd quarter, Cody. A scoreless 3rd with that running clock. And the Bulldogs will take a 56-20 lead into the 4th after 76 points in the first half combined. A scoreless 3rd quarter, and the Bulldogs in control in this Class D2 opening round of the West bracket. The 3rd seed Bulldogs lead the 14 seed Loomis Wolves by a score of 56-20. That's your Tri-County Bank scoreboard. We're back for the final 12 minutes of football after this timeout.
Great yields start with the right seed. If you're looking for more when you buy seed, if world-class genetics and a seed rep with an unwavering commitment is important to you, go with Sherm Gucci and Hogemeyer. The right seed. 402-760-2172.
Jones Salvage of Ainsworth, proud supporter of Bulldog Athletics, has new steel and windbreak steel available, tractors and vehicles, and pays competitive prices for scrap iron, vehicles, and farm machinery. Call Tom at 402-382-8004 or Willie at 402-382-8784.
Score update here on KBRB. St. Pat's leads Elkhorn Valley 28-8. That in a football playoff score for you. Let's see if we can get you a couple more football scores from around the state of Nebraska. Courtesy of Max Preps. As I said that, everybody must be trying to get that. It's kind of froze up on me here. We'll try to get you some scores in a moment. Greg, right now, we head into the fourth quarter. Ainsworth is trying to get their first playoff victory in school history and 12 minutes away from that.
Well, they've done what they needed to do here in the third quarter. They've held Loomis off the board. They've been able to take advantage of that running clock to shorten this game. They do still have the starting defense out there for the most part. I do see, I think Carter Nelson is getting a breather here on this drive that comes starting at the 14-yard line.
Yeah. So here's Clay Meyer going to just go back to pass here, trying to get some double moves. There's some double coverage. Ball going to be thrown up in the air, and it's into the hands of number 11, Gunnar Hadley. Again,
all the way
just
to
a
the
great
25.
pass. Like I continue to say, if you watch film on the Bulldogs, they do that face guarding, and they try to pop the ball out after you catch it, and that's a big play.
41 yards, Cody.
And this is down to a 56. It's a 56-20 game. Wolves get this one in. They can get it back to a normal clock here. Carter Nelson not in on the defensive set here. Not sure if he's injured. They're just giving him a little bit of break with a 36-point lead.
Cody.
Here comes a blitz, and it is Appelt, and he gets away. Does Meyer gets away? And now we're going to have Meyer on the outside. And he nearly in for a touchdown. I was looking at a holding like at past 10. It got tackled on the left side.
Morgan Kinney
got tackled with no flag called.
I tell you what,
wow.
Cody, credit Meyer. Trey Appelt's a big kid, and he had both hands on him again, and Meyer was able to shed him. And he takes that all the way down to the 9-yard line.
Inside the West Plains bank zone. Here is Meyer here. Ainsworth brought the heat. His pass in the air, blocked away by, and nearly picked off by Held, but blocked away there by Owen Blumenstock.
Yeah, after the 16-yard rush for Meyer, nearly an interception. Good defensive play there by Blumenstock, using that hand to knock it away, and good coverage, and Held nearly made a shoestring interception. Clock winding.
Second down and 9. Bad snap. Here comes Ainsworth Bulldogs. This time Meyer's going nowhere.
Yeah, Holloway and Riggin Blumenstock combine on the sack after the bad snap. That's going to push the football all the way back outside the 15 to about the 16-yard line. So that's going to be a loss of 7 and set up 3rd and goal out at the 16-yard line.
10:05 here in a couple seconds of counting. 10:05. What do we have? 20-7.
Yep, 20-7. Summerland at the half over Bridgeport in a D1 matchup.
Here comes a heat again, and Meyer sacked for the second time in a row. That is Riggin Blumenstock.
Yep, that time Riggin kept a hold of him and didn't quite go so high, and that loss back to the 22. That's another loss of 6. And a timeout Loomis before a 4th down and goal play from the 22. But tell you what, Cody, this Bulldog defensive line, they haven't had to send any extra blitzers.
Right.
That's that defensive line, that front 3 or 4 has got a mountain of pressure on Meyer this entire game.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you've called one Ainsworth game. I've called the rest of them, Greg. But in those victories that they've come behind against EPPJ and St. Mary's, it looked like heading into the fourth quarter, the other team was just wore down, and they wear you down with their pressure. And that looks like to be what has happened so far. It is 4th down and goal from the 22. Timeout, Loomis Wolves. Big play here for Loomis to get that, basically back to the normal clock.
Yeah, and at this point, a lot of this clock has melted away. 9:49 to go in the game. It's basically helped Ainsworth make sure they'll seal this first playoff victory in school history. But, Cody, the 2 defensive ends, Trey Appelt and Riggin Blumenstock, you want to talk about defensive performers of the game. I know the Bulldogs have forced now 5 turnovers as well, but those two defensive ends have just been wreaking havoc on Meyer and company.
Zach Rademacher looks to be covered up. Yeah, he is on the left side. Here's a screen play on fourth down, and Owen Blumenstock misses the tackle, but saving it on fourth down was Jacob Held, and that's a turnover on down. Should be Ainsworth football.
Yeah, it'd be a catch of 7 yards by, I believe, was that Hadley again? I think it was Hadley on the catch.
11.
So Hadley now is up to 7 catches, and he's approaching a 200-yard receiving day. But the Bulldogs will get a whole stop defensively and take the football at the 15. And with 9 minutes to go, it's just a matter of time now before the Ainsworth Bulldog team of 2022 notches the first playoff victory in, we'll say, certainly recent school history.
In NSAA history.
In NSAA history.
Yeah.
So that is quite an accomplishment for a team that really, you knew they had some athletes coming into this year, but that had just not translated into wins the last couple of years. But this team really has just put together a phenomenal season, and they're going to go into the round of 16.
I think we have a timeout. They had the wrong ball in, and the back judge was calling. Already had his hand up for 5 seconds, and they're making a change of the ball. So we have a timeout called on the field. Let's take one with them, Greg. 8:57 to go here in the final period. 56-20. Ainsworth leads Loomis from East City Park.
For independent grain marketing, contact Pride Grain, located on Highway 20 between Long Pine and Bassett. Pride Grain has a variety of marketing tools available to meet your individual marketing plan. Contact Pride Grain, a supporter of local athletics.
Tires you deserve from people you can trust. At Brown County Tire, their sales and service team go above and beyond to help you with your tire needs. For complete tire service and oil changes, call them Brown County Tire in Ainsworth. Phone 402-387-0203.
Well, Greg, as we know, the Ainsworth has a potent offense here on KBRB, and right now putting up 56 points in the half, but both teams with that running clock just haven't been able to get the ball moving much. Here it is, first down and 10 for the Bulldogs. They will keep what looks to be that number 1 unit minus Carter Nelson out there, it does look like to me.
Yep, so McNally will run at the quarterback spot. Nelson is on the bench here for this final 8:57. 36-point game.
Here is McNally trying to get away from the defense coming in. He makes one guy miss. He's going to get back to not quite the line of scrimmage. Looks like maybe a yard and a half loss.
Yeah, good job stringing that one out for the Wolves. It was Bohr out there along with Tromke helping out with Cale Nelson as three of them strung that out, and they'll stop Tragan. Looks like for a loss of a couple yards.
South Loop leads Kennesaw 22-6 at halftime. Thank you, Jeremy Krall, for that one.
Again, it was 20-7 Summerland over Bridgeport at halftime, and that's a D1 ball game.
Clock down to 8:20 to go here in the game. High snap, picked up McNally looking. He's going to go to the middle. He's going to find Blumenstock. He's at the 30, 35, midfield. He's into territory of the Wolves, and he will not be caught, and he will go in for the touchdown. That ball was on the 13-yard line.
Wow, 67 yards, and it was Owen Blumenstock just outrunning Cale Nelson after making that catch. And again, no safety valve back there. 67 yards, and add another long touchdown to the Bulldog tally today.
You thought you were going to need extra paper, Greg. First touchdown of the second half.
I think I got room, yeah.
8:07 to go with the 2-point try here for the Bulldogs. And it looks like it will be at quarterback still. McNally off of his left side will be Morgan Kinney. Going to hand it off to Morgan Kinney, trying to slice some dice. He gets to the outside end for the 2-point try. And Ainsworth, with 8:07 to go in the ballgame, up 64-20, trying to get their first playoff victory in school history right here on KBRB. Back with more in a moment.
Palmer Law Group, LLC, attorney at law in Ainsworth, is at their new location, 121 East 2nd Street here in Ainsworth. They focus on you, the client, with complete legal services and with reasonable fees. Rob Palmer of Palmer Law Group, LLC, a member of the KBRB Sportscasters Club.
Local news, personalized with pictures. As it happens, that's the Ainsworth Star-Journal, hot off the press each Tuesday. The Ainsworth Star-Journal offers a full line of printing services, and you can find them on the web. That's the Ainsworth Star-Journal, located on East Highway 20 in Ainsworth.
64-20. Ainsworth here, Greg, and McNally with just a dime of a pass to Owen Blumenstock to show his speed.
Cody, I'm just looking at the vehicles out here at East City Park. Not only ringing around the field and then about 3 deep on the west side. Look at over there all the way across East City Park from the opposite side of the Legion Field down past the horseshoe courts and out toward the swimming pool and softball complex.
Up by the swimming pool.
Yep, probably using the church parking lot across the street as well. And
here is
nice
Clay
catch
Meyer
by
going to
the
try
up
catching
back.
one here. Better try getting low on him. He'll blow you over. There's a good tackle getting low enough
Still
there.
playing hard. How about that kid?
Was
Still playing
Witten Painter.
hard. Yeah, Clay Meyer, he's going to need the ice bath. But you want to talk about
really
still playing hard. He took on 3 Bulldogs, lowered the shoulder, and I tell you what, Clay Meyer just looks beat up in this game.
Probably his last touching of a football of his senior year.
Yeah, he's a good ball player, and he's been under pressure all day and has still made some big plays, both with his feet and through the air, and he's getting a hug now from the coaching staff. They recognize that kid left it all out on the field today.
Both second units are in, including Tyson Freeman. Man in motion will be Grady Kimball. And Ainsworth will find it on the reverse to him. Maybe a loss of 1.
Yeah, good tackle in there for Ainsworth. It was Aiden Jackman in there with a little help from Butch Gucci. And they'll stop the running play for a loss of 1. Grady Kimball on that carry.
If you're in your vehicle listening, they do have the east gates open. They do have that announced, but there's 4 cars blocking the east gates. So if you're one of those over at the northeast side of the football field, they open those gates to allow people to get out here nicely. Second down, 11, 6:50 to go here. Quarterback with an option play out to the left side. It's going to be Freeman. Tyson is going to be tackled in there by Jacob Held.
Yeah, good play by Held, just working downhill. His responsibility was the pitch man. They forced the pitch, and really nothing there, just a gain of a yard for Tyson Freeman, a freshman. Again, both backup units are out there for Ainsworth. They've got Butch Gucci, they've got Witten Painter, and Aiden Jackman along the line. I see Ryan Salzman out there, one of the outside linebacker spots, along with freshman Chris Fernandez. Bulldogs have in the secondary Mason Painter, along with Scott Fernandez, a junior.
Going to throw this one up in the air. Going to have an offensive pass interference, I believe, or holding on the Bulldogs, as that one was in and out of the hands of Grady Kimball. But again, I do believe that's going to be a pass interference or defensive hold on the Bulldogs.
Well thrown ball by Houston Billiter under pressure. He threw that one, ended up right in the breadbasket of Brady Kimball. He didn't come up with the catch. But we do, as you mentioned, have a penalty flag. But I tell you what, that was a pretty good throw under pressure by Billiter, the freshman. Put that right in the arms of Grady Kimball.
It'll be a first down because that's right at 10 yards.
Is a penalty on the Bulldogs, and that will be the 3rd penalty this half, 7th of the game for Ainsworth. That is Loomis's 11th first down, and they've got the football at the Bulldog 33, under 6 minutes to go, and a 44-point game, 64-20.
Quarterback going to keep this one. That is going to be Reyes, a 160-pound senior, with the carry off the left side, finished off there by the Bulldogs. Look like Aiden Jackman in number 56, and that is Scott Fernandez.
So that's 2nd and 10 now, as the Wolves also have a bunch of the backups in there. You know, this is a Wolf team that came up and basically played as hard as they could. They just, at the end of the day, gave up a lot of big plays to Ainsworth offensively.
Coach Jake Nelson's watching what the starters are doing, and he's getting far away from this one. Out to the left side, going to be carried by the Wolves' number 2, Tyson Freeman.
Aiden Jackman in on another tackle, maybe a gain of a yard. I'll call it 2 on that 2nd down carry.
Here comes a couple of seniors that don't get much time for the Bulldogs. Number 13, 6'4", 150-pound senior Titan Trail, and number 19, 5'9", 165-pound senior Dalton Jones. And there to play for the Bulldogs with now under 5 minutes to go, and a 3rd down and 8 for the Wolves at the Ainsworth 31-yard. I just cannot believe with the score, Greg. We only had like 4 West Plains bank zones.
Right. All those points, but they were all long plays. The one time the Bulldogs were in the West Plains bank zone, they didn't score.
Here's going to be a pass attempt. What a great rush
Painter.
play by Witten Painter. That's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, he knocked down Billiter as he threw that football. Good play for the freshman from that left defensive end. Witten right in there, and a nice form tackle as the quarterback tried to release the football.
Well, Greg, looks like Ainsworth going to improve to 9-0 for the first time in school history. I do believe we've went back to the 30s and found, still looking for that 8-0, but 9-0 here. Still 4 minutes to go here on a fourth down. What do we have? Timeout, Ainsworth. But for the Bulldogs here, Greg, it's reseed time after this. They'll lose a few points as Loomis will go to 3-6 on the year. So we'll see where they may be, but the talk is maybe Osceola.
Yeah, and it should be here at East City Park next week, as Ainsworth will be one of the top 8 seeds in Class
D2.
D2 as they reshuffle it. So instead of a East-West bracket like you have in this first round, they will reshuffle things and take the top 16 teams that win in this opening round and reseed them 1 through 16 statewide for next week's game. So potentially maybe that Osceola, maybe Elm Creek. You've got Central Valley's going to be right in that area as well. So it's going to be a quality football team. So the competition only gets better as you survive and advance. But an impressive performance here in the playoffs for this Ainsworth Bulldog team over a Loomis team that's been here a lot of years. They're a younger squad this year, are the Wolves, but the Bulldogs have put together a really nice performance.
Fourth down try for the Wolves. Going to be stopped is the quarterback, number 16, Reyes. In there it will look like number 33, Aiden Jackman, and Sam Titus, number 4.
Yeah, Titus, a freshman linebacker out there.
Great point by Steve Camp. I was at state track, and you want to talk about one of the best runners in the state of Nebraska, the Zlansky kid. He is a stud. If that is somebody
from Osceola,
yeah. And I watched him run at state track, and he is a stud.
3 golds, the 1, 2, and 4.
1, 2, and 4,
yeah,
yes.
That's right.
So if that is, you're going to see one of the top athletes. Did he commit? You're going to have to look this up. I think he committed already to play football outside of Nebraska.
Yeah, well, we won't know matchups for sure until the NSAA does the reshuffle after the winners. I believe all of the Class D matchups, though, were today. So we should know by some point tomorrow, potentially, who the opponent will be for the Ainsworth Bulldogs. As Ainsworth takes the timeout, 3:02 to go in this one. All Ainsworth, 64-20. The lone touchdown in the second half coming for the Bulldogs. But, you know, how about this program? Coach Jesse Owen, Coach Kirk Peterson, Coach Clint Painter, Coach Jake Nelson, Coach Brian Delamont. They have done a phenomenal job with this hungry group of young athletes. And to tell you what, the number of athletes that Ainsworth has on the football team this year and the number of players, period, that Ainsworth has going out for football now, this program is really trending in a great direction for Coach Owen. And they're going to culminate this with a home playoff victory to break what's been a long, long streak of football without a playoff win for Ainsworth.
And that's good for the Ainsworth Bulldogs as they send Painter back to pass for Fernandez. Just incomplete. Great coverage by the freshman Tyson Freeman. Back there is Mason Painter through that one.
Yeah, how about that? They're going to let the freshman throw out. I saw that combination, Cody, at Chambers Wheeler Central, the Mason Painter to Chris Fernandez. That combination went for a touchdown, and then they changed it up, and Fernandez threw a touchdown pass as a backup quarterback. So the Bulldogs, with 2.5 minutes left, face a 2nd and 10. And it is Fernandez now at the quarterback
Fernandez
spot.
at quarterback to the right side will be Salzman. Ball going to be snapped and bobbled, and this is going to be a big loss. Looks like about a 12-yard loss on a bad snap.
Yeah, that'll hurt the yardage total a little bit as drop about 12 yards back inside the 20 at the 18.
Trevor Pike, number 66, 5'7", 202-pound freshman. They call him the tractor in there. I always see him when I walk into the grocery store and say, hope that's all right. And he says, my grandma laughs when you do that. He is the center here. Down under 2 minutes to go. 3rd down and about 22 yards here for the Bulldogs. Fernandez has some speed if he can get to the outside. They're going to actually hand this one off to the first guy through, and that is going to be Dalton Jones. His first carry, I believe, of the year, Greg.
I think he might have got one at CWC, if I remember right.
I did not call that game.
Right, so they're going to no gain on that one. So 4th and 22, final 90 seconds. Fernandez will go back into punt formation.
And back to receive this one will be Tyson Freeman, about his own 35. This punt will come from the 17. A nice little punt. This one going to hit at the 27-yard line, be recovered by Salzman down there about that 27 mark. Nice little punt.
Left-footed, Chris.
I
don't think did he throw? I don't think Chris
Nope.
throws it
He's
left-handed,
like me.
does he?
No, he's just like me. We're right-handed, kick left-handed.
Kick
left-footed.
Kick left.
hey, I'll still do that. That's better than your there's short one guy on 11-man football when 9 guys are out there.
That's very true. That is
throw right-handed,
all correct.
Kick left-footed. I don't know. It's just the way it is. Same thing with long jump. Long jump, triple jumped off my left foot, not my right foot. A lot of people do. Down to 40 seconds, Greg. This could be the last play of the game for the quarterback, Bill Letter. He's going to send a man out to the left side. That is Titkemeyer. Down to 25 seconds. Man in motion is Freeman. They'll hand it off to Freeman. Here's Aiden Jackman with closing speed, and he will tackle him after what looks to be about a 5-yard pickup.
All right, that the second carry for Tyson Freeman. I'm just trying to make sure my stats are accurate here before we close
Greg,
this one out. It's going to go 4
here.
more yards. That's going to be a playoff victory for the Ainsworth Bulldogs. How about that? And they douse Coach Jesse Owen, and the Bulldog fans erupt as this team puts a playoff win on the board, and they will head into the round of 16 with an impressive 64-20 victory. Cody, that's one of those we'll be able to talk about several years from now, that we'll be remembering when the Ainsworth Bulldogs won that first playoff game.
And it comes in 2022. And, of course, you take a look at it at the Ainsworth Bulldogs in that 8-man rank, clear down to Class D2. Congratulations to them, Coach Jesse Owen. We will come back and get you some stats in the end of the game report, brought to you by the Tri-County Banks. Ainsworth Bulldogs win it 64-20. Off to more state football next week on Friday. We'll be back with a lot more to wrap it up here on KBRB.
The Mund-Hank Agency has been providing quality insurance protection to area individuals, families, and businesses for over 60 years. For quality coverage and fair rates, visit your trusted choice agent of the Sandhills, the Mund-Hank Agency in Ainsworth.
Buckley Steel Incorporated of Ainsworth. Not only do they offer complete metal building construction for your every need, they also supply your crane needs with their 28-ton crane that can reach 152 feet with just a 15-minute setup. That's Buckley Steel of Ainsworth.
Think of the Bulldogs every time you swipe your card with Union Bank and Trust Bulldog Debit Card. It's a perfect way to show off your Bulldog pride wherever you use your card, at home or away. Union Bank and Trust, you belong here. Member FDIC.
Bulldogs 9-0 for the first time in school history, 64-20. And it is the first playoff win for the Ainsworth Bulldogs. They've only made it to the playoffs 3 years prior, and now we'll mark that win in the playoff column for the 23rd time. It was the Loomis Wolves making it to the playoffs. They'd made it here 2 straight. Actually, the 22nd time they'd made it here. They've made it in 20 and 21. Made it here in 2022. Loomis will fall to 3-6 on the year. But again, when you look at the teams they lost to a 8-0 squad. Ainsworth now 9-0 on the season, so a lot of those losses coming to some big-time schools. In fact, as we look at that, they lost to 7-1 Kennesaw, 7-1 Elm Creek, 8-0 Hitchcock County, 7-1 Dundee County Stratton. Those teams in action right now in the D2 state football playoffs and some D1 football playoffs. And then again losing to 9-0 Ainsworth here, 64-20. Ty Spees and his crew try to mount a comeback. Again, as we hit the end of the game report, as we told you at halftime, Ainsworth took the lead. Second play from scrimmage with 11:26 to go in the first quarter. They get a 37-yard TD pass from McNally to Appelt. 2-point run by Nelson. Ainsworth went up 8-0. Ainsworth gets a stop on the defense, and with 7:11 to go in the first quarter, it's a 28-yard TD pass from McNally to Nelson, and the 2-point run for Nelson. Ainsworth looked like they had things going 16-0, and then a big strike by the Wolves with 5:27 to go in the first quarter. They get a 58-yard TD pass from Meyer to Hadley. 2-point run failed, made it 16-6 Ainsworth. And the last score of the first quarter with 4:09 to go, it was Ainsworth 4th down and 5 from back at their 15, 20-yard line. So we'll take a look at that in a moment. But it was Carter Nelson then running it for 60-yard TD run, 2-point try, no good. And Ainsworth led at the end of 122-6. With 11:35 to go in the second, Carter Nelson gets a 64-yard TD run, 2-point try, no good. Ainsworth took the lead to 28-6. As they get another touchdown from Carter Nelson on the defensive side in the next possession for Loomis with 10:04 to go in the second quarter. Nelson gets a 17-yard interception return. Again, Ainsworth denied on the 2-point try. It was 34-6 Dogs. Then Ainsworth will get the ball back with 8:25 to go in the half. 31-yard TD pass from Nelson to Appelt. 2-point try for the 4th time in a row failed, but Ainsworth led 40-6. And then it was Loomis putting a couple scores together. 7:02 to go in the first half. They get a 1-yard TD run by Clay Meyer. Meyer then throws the ball to Clay Bohr and made it 40-14. Then covering an onside kick and going to the air with 5:56 to go in the first half. A 45-yard TD pass from Clay Meyer to, again, Gunnar Hadley with the 2-point try, no good. Made it 40-20 Ainsworth. And Ainsworth then will score the last 2 touchdowns of the half. They'll get a 67-yard TD run by McNally, 2-point run by Nelson with 4:59 to go in the half. They led at 48-20. And with 3:43 to go in the half, it was a 52-yard TD run from Nelson. His 2-point run good, made it 56-20. And then our only score of the second half was a 67-yard TD pass with 8:07 to go in the game from McNally to Owen Blumenstock with a 2-point run for Morgan Kinney. And our final score, 64-20. And Greg Kinsey, I'll let you go ahead and give us some of the end of the game stats here on KBRB if you would like to, and then we'll chat with Coach Jesse Owen.
All right, thank you, Cody. Let's do that and tell you that Loomis ends up running 53 plays in this game, 39 in the first half, 14 in the second half, 317 total yards for the Wolves, 208 yards in the first half, 109 yards with that running clock in the second half. Throwing the football today, boy, Clay Meyer under pressure the entire game. He goes 15 for 29 for 274 yards. He throws 2 touchdowns, but was intercepted 4 times by the Bulldogs. 7 catches for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns for Gunnar Hadley. And then it was 4 catches on the game for 53 yards for Cale Nelson, 2 catches for 33 yards for Clay Bohr, 2 catches for 6 yards for Ben Tromke. Rushing-wise, 23 rushes, just 43 yards in this ball game. 43 yards on 17 carries for Clay Meyer. 3 sacks that took away some of his yards, but the rest of the Wolves, 6 carries in this one, 0 yards. So 53 plays, 317 yards of offense for Loomis, who will end the season at 3-6. For the now 9-0 Ainsworth Bulldogs, just 36 offensive snaps in this game, 23 in the first half, 13 snaps in that running clock in the second half. Bulldogs, 469 yards of offense, 379 yards in the first half, 90 yards of offense in the second half. Running, the Bulldogs 18 carries, 272 yards, 18 passes, 8 complete for 196 yards. There's pretty good balance on 36 plays, 18 rushes, 18 passes, 272 on the ground, 197 through the air. Carter Nelson, 3 for 9, throwing the football for 55 yards and a touchdown. Tragan McNally, 5 for 8, throwing the football for 142 yards and 3 touchdowns. Trey Appelt, 5 catches in this one for 98 yards and 2 scores. 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown for Carter Nelson. Owen Blumenstock with a 67-yard touchdown catch. And Tragan McNally, 1 catch for 13 yards. Rushing, Carter Nelson, 8 carries, 7 of those in the first half, 177 yards, 3 touchdowns of 60, 64, and 42 yards. Tragan McNally, 4 carries for 94 yards, including a 67-yard touchdown. Bulldogs go to 9-0 and into the round of 16, and we'll see where they wind up on the reshuffle. 36 plays, 469 yards for the Bulldogs, 53 plays, 317 yards for the Wolves. Ainsworth, 469 yards, just 12 first downs. That tells you the big plays in this game. Ainsworth had 2 one-play drives, 2 two-play drives in that first half. Just a big play after big play. Cody, every one of the Bulldogs' touchdowns went for 28 yards or more.
On the offense, yep.
They were in the West Plains Bank zone one time and did not score.
And had a 17-yard interception return for a touchdown.
That's right. So just a phenomenal performance, 64-20. They did exactly what we talked about their keys would be before the game. Jumped on Loomis early, took care of the football, did not turn it over. In fact, +5 in turnover margin for the Bulldogs.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk to the winning coach, Jesse Owen, for the Ainsworth Bulldogs right after this.
Fontanelle, your game changer in the field. From local proven product recommendations to in-season advice to harvest insights, solutions you need, relationships you trust. Call Terry Cachera, your local Fontanelle representative today, 402-992-8391.
Go ahead and improve with Tim's Construction of Ainsworth. Additions, kitchens, bathrooms, roofing, drywall, window replacement, siding, even custom-built homes start to finish. Call Tim's Construction of Ainsworth for a free, no-obligation quote at 402-760-0162.
We're back on KBRB, FM 92, KBRB.net, 64-20, your final score. The Ainsworth Bulldogs 9-0, headed to the next round, and it is our Buckles Automotive post-game show. And here to tell you about Buckles Automotive, we're going to have to pay him extra. Coach of the Bulldogs, Jesse Owen.
October is fall car month, and prices are falling at Buckles Automotive Napa. They have everything you need to get your car, pickup, ATV, trucks, and tractors ready for winter. RVs and living quarters, trailers too. Napa antifreeze and coolant is on sale, orange, green, and heavy duty. It's a great time to stock up on Napa Premium, conventional, and synthetic motor oil, Thermo Aid, diesel, fuel additives, starting fuel, and more. Like it or not, winter is just around the corner. Be ready with Buckles Automotive Napa on Main Street in Ainsworth.
Well done. If this coaching thing doesn't work out, let me know and we'll put a headset on you, right?
Great.
Hey, congratulations. What a fantastic performance. We talked ahead of this one. You're playing a 3-5 team that had faced a difficult schedule, and we talked about trying to jump on them early and taking care of the football. And wow, did you check both those boxes in the first half?
That was our goal this week, was no turnovers. We've constantly preached that the only games that, that we've struggled a little bit is when we're turning the ball over, and we understand the importance of field position. Our boys answered, and boy, did they come out hot tonight.
You look at this Loomis offensive line. They had some big kids size-wise, but I tell you what, the pressure that your front four were able to get on Clay Meyer, there were maybe 3 or 4 of his 30 throws where he was actually able to set his feet and try to drive the football. Otherwise, it was literally scrambling and throwing off his back foot or throwing it, having to loft it more because he constantly had defenders on him.
Absolutely. Speed's our MO. That's what we preach with everybody, even our linemen, and it gets the job done for us.
Talk about your defensive ends in this one. Trey Appelt, Reagan Blumenstock. They came out wanting to try to stretch the edge, run that option play, run some of that jet sweep, and you just took that away immediately, and it was Trey and Reagan setting the tone in the run game first and then pressuring the quarterback.
Those two do such a great job for us as far as setting, and knowing option responsibilities. Again, Reagan is experienced for us. Trey, his first year playing football still, but the football IQ of both of those kids is phenomenal.
Well, offensively, boy, you come in knowing that you've got athletes and some big play potential, but huge touchdown play after huge touchdown play. And I want to take you to a point in the game where after being up 40-6, they go down, get a score, recover an onside kick and get a score, and you're faced with a 3rd and 12, and all of a sudden momentum is squarely on the south sideline. And then on 3rd and 12, Tragan McNally pops a 67-yarder. How big was that one? As you knew, kind of Loomis had a little bit of momentum at the time.
Yeah, you could kind of feel that. And again, that was an offense we knew could be explosive and give us troubles. Again, they're a basketball school loaded with athletes all over the field. And and they were going to take their shots. So we knew that if we could limit their possessions, however, again, when they got that onside kick and scored again, it was worst case scenario. Tragan McNally is a gamer, flat out. Tragan McNally is a gamer.
Well, I thought, watching the Bulldogs several times now, that you utilized Trey Appelt in the passing game a little bit heavier in this one, as all the focus on Carter and Tragan and some of that speed. The kind of the forgotten guy. You haven't had to go to him a lot, but to have that weapon at tight end, and he came up big in the first half. 2 long touchdown catches, nearly 100 yards receiving.
Absolutely, and he's a guy he's patient, where he's not going to be a guy we're throwing to every down, but when we utilize that play action, he's ready. We came out in that trick play, a little guard pass out of a spread look with a guy off the line of scrimmage and got him wide open, and the guy just finds ways to get the football.
Well, Carter Nelson, it's just hard to put in the words when you're watching it live. He takes that ball and kind of just starts around the end and just looks pretty nonchalant, just kind of cruising as he gets out to the edge. But when he decides he's cutting up field, he puts that foot in the ground, and on that first long touchdown run of 60 yards, there were 2 Wolves in pursuit, and pretty soon they just didn't have an angle. He got around that corner, and there were 2 guys at that second level, and pretty soon he's just passed them, and they're headed toward the sideline going, oh, what happened? So, just the speed and size combination of this kid.
Yeah, he runs a 4.5. He weighs about 205, 210 right now. He's obviously just a handful for a lot of people. But what a lot of guys on our team do really well is we read our zone schemes, and everybody's so paranoid about us getting outside on them, and we create those cutback lanes, and then we're off to the races.
Well, the long touchdown runs. You had touchdown runs, 60, 64, 42 from Carter, 67 for Tragan. Didn't really have to try to go deep into the playbook and extend a lot of these drives in this one.
No, honestly, it didn't quite even feel like that until you guys pointed it out. The heat of the game, you just kind of go with what you're doing, but I didn't even think about the fact we really didn't have any red zone opportunities.
Well, health-wise, saw a couple of kids, Carter and Riggin, looked a little banged up. It was nice to see that Morgan was able to get out there and get some snaps. No, he got banged up last week. So how big was it in the second half for you that you were able to keep that running clock going? You stopped them on that first drive. Was that kind of a point of emphasis to start the third quarter? Like, hey, guys, let's go out and get this stop so we can keep that clock running and try to shorten this one and maybe get some second unit kids in earlier.
Yeah, that was the goal. We wanted to make sure that they didn't score and the running clock was gone. We wanted to be the first ones to score, get that running clock going, get some subs in and out, and we were able to do that, which we're fortunate. You get this late in the season, everybody's banged up. We're just thankful we don't have any, major injuries right now.
Well, you're into the round of 16, and we don't get to talk about the next opponent because we won't know who that is yet. Maybe find out tomorrow. So kind of give us the run-through of what the schedule is going to look like for the Bulldogs for the next week.
Yeah, so with a quick turnaround playing a Thursday game, some teams choose to extend some things and do some Saturday practices. We're actually going to give the Bulldogs a couple days off here to regroup. We'll still come in and take care of our owies and ice a little bit. It'll just be X's and O's till Monday, and then we're normal routine from there, which will be great to get back to.
Well, looks like it'll probably be here at East City Park. I believe you'll be one of those top 8 seeds in the D2 bracket. So congratulations on a fantastic win. That playoff monkey finally off the Bulldogs' back. I saw you got a little bath after the game. So it's a good thing it was 77 at kickoff and not 47 as it is at sometimes in the playoffs. But congratulations.
Thank you. I'm still a little cold for the record.
Coach Jesse Owen joining us here. It's our Buckles Automotive post-game show on KBRB as we will get ready to bring back Cody Gucci and award our first-class auto performances of the game. And we'll tell you, when it comes to vehicle sales and service, you can score more. First Class Auto Main Street in Ainsworth. Dodge and Jeep both have some great deals going on right now. So stop in, talk to Square T-Buck, find out what's going on if you're looking for a new Jeep or Dodge product. And, of course, they've got a great selection on the Main Street lot. You can see that there. Go online, firstclassautoainsworth.com, and great service and repair shop as well. Why travel any other way when you can upgrade and save when you go First Class Main Street in Ainsworth? Bring back Cody Gucci, and boy, we've got several candidates for our performances of the game. We may have to go a couple offense and a couple defense in this one now that we're in the postseason. And starting with Loomis, Cody, I think it's got to be the 2 seniors. It's got to be Clay Meyer and Gunnar Hadley offensively.
Yeah.
Those 2 kids are we knew going in were very good athletes, and I tell you what, Clay Meyer gave every ounce of everything that he had. 210-pound senior. He was harassed the entire game, but just kept answering the bell, kept dusting himself off. He'd make him, he'd get under pressure and throw an interception, would come right back and throw a touchdown. He throws it for 274 yards in this one and a couple touchdowns, and runs it team high 43 yards as well.
Yeah, he accounted for all 3 touchdowns for them. And then, as you mentioned, back in the backfield, I think Ainsworth had 5 sacks. Could have been more, but, man, just the athleticism, and he was able to get away from them, get some positive yards there. And as you mentioned, then Gunnar Hadley, nearly 200 yards in receiving.
He was a match. He was a tough matchup. The Bulldogs, a fantastic job stifling him in the outside run game, that jet sweep and option game. They took away the outside running of Loomis, but Loomis found a way to get Gunnar the football. He ends up with 7 catches, 182 yards, touchdowns of 48 and 45. He had catches of 41 and 34 as well. So he made some big plays in the pass game for Loomis. Defensively for the Wolves, one of them's got to go to the freshman.
I would
Coy
say about
Meyer.
The only one would go to the freshman.
I think that's right.
We called his name about every tackle.
I think that's right. Coy Meyer, he's the leading tackler on this team. Coach Spees in the pregame talked about, hey, he was a find for us. He came in and filled in early for an injury and just never gave the spot back. Just a good young football player. So Coy Meyer will be your defensive performance of the game for Loomis. For the Ainsworth Bulldogs offensively, boy, I don't know where to start. I think Carter Nelson gets one for the explosive plays. 8 carries, 177 yards, touchdowns in the first half of 60, 64, and 42. One of those on a fake punt that Loomis thought maybe it had a stop, and Carter just took off from that punter spot and went for a 60-yard score, a 64-yarder around the end where it looked like he just found another gear that nobody else on the field had, and then a third touchdown run of 42, also threw for a touchdown. And so we'll give one of those to him. And the other one on the offensive side, boy, Tragan McNally threw for 3 touchdowns, but I think I got to go Trey Appel. Yeah,
That's what
I think
was
so.
say.
5 catches, 98 yards, and 2 first-half touchdowns of 37 and 31. The Bulldogs haven't had to call his number a lot in the passing game, but they just put on film that, along with having to watch number 8, number 22, number 21, number 5, some of these other kids, don't forget about big number 55 in the passing game. Big day for him. 5 catches, 98 yards.
If you didn't give
scores.
one to Appel, I was going to give him one on the defensive side of things.
You
My
almost
goodness.
want to
Wow.
anyway. So on the defensive side, you had really a ball-hawking defense. Carter had 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. Tragan an interception. Morgan Kinney an interception. Tragan recovered a fumble. Defensively, I think, though, it's Riggin Blumenstock and Trey Appel. They just made life miserable for Clay Meyer. First of all, stopped the outside running game. It didn't take many plays for Loomis to realize we're not going to be able to run on the edges against these 2 defensive ends. And then once they became one-dimensional, really as just a passing team, they pinned their ears and they were on the quarterback almost every play.
Every play they were there. And so that means the defensive backs were doing their job too. So our first-class auto performers of the game for you. Want to stop on in Main Street in Ainsworth, talk to Square and T-Bunk. They'll get you in the vehicle that is right for you. You need any repairs done, make sure to stop in there at First Class Auto in Ainsworth. Greg Kinsey, tell you what, the Bulldogs look good here tonight with that victory. 9-0 for the first time in school history, and the monkey is off their back. They have their first playoff victory in school history.
64-20 the final. Stay tuned to KBRB as soon as we find out the opponent and the time. We'll let you know, but just plan on being right here on KBRB as well as on the video stream, Kennel Vision for the Ainsworth Bulldogs. Next week for the round of 16 in the Class D2 football playoffs. The Bulldogs 9-0 will likely get a home game for that one. Don't forget, tomorrow we have a big football game on the high school side, as well as cross-country state championships. Cody's going to make the trip to Kearney for the Class D state cross-country championships at the Kearney Country Club. The Class D boys race at noon, Class D girls race at 1. We've got a lot of area athletes who will be competing there, not only for individual medals, but for team plaques as well. And so that coverage on KBRB just before noon, most likely, before that boys race, and then carrying you through the first half of that 1 o'clock hour, and in talking with some of the athletes and the coaches after as well. And then tomorrow night, got a big football game in 6-man for a district title as the 4-3 Stewart Broncos host the 5-2 Hampton Hawks. Both teams 4-0 in their district. Stewart number 16 in the playoff standings as far as wild card points go. Hampton at number 13. So that one almost a de facto playoff game tomorrow night from Stewart Park. I will have the call with Steve Camp in that one. Coach's Corner at around 6:30, kickoff at 7 for the Stewart Broncos and the Hampton Hawks. You have some score updates?
Yeah, quickly some scores. D1, Neely Oakdale defeats Cambridge 70-22. Sandy Creek over Southern Valley 24-18. Dundee County Stratton over Axtell 42-8. Again, Ainsworth 64-20 winner. In the third, Johnson Brock leads Wausau 46-22. It was St. Francis over Sacred Heart 64-12. St. Patrick's leads Elkhorn Valley 42-16. South Loop over Kennesaw in the fourth quarter 40-6. Lawrence Nelson 32-16 lead over LCCHS. And you have another one, Greg?
Well, I've got one. I'll see if I can get another update here quickly.
I have a Bloomfield score, too.
Yeah, go with that one.
Bloomfield shutting out Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family 54-0 in the second quarter.
That Bloomfield team is really good again. They don't have a ton of guys,
Second
but they
quarter.
are good again. And, well, the last update I had, Bridgeport scores to start the second half on the road at Summerland in D1, and that makes it a 20-14 ball game. It was 20-0 Summerland. Bridgeport scored 2 straight, one before the half and one to start the third quarter, 20-14, and that's where they are heading into the fourth quarter from Summerland. 20-14 Bobcats leading Bridgeport.
And our final score available, Elm Creek leads Mullen in the fourth quarter 45-8. And don't forget, you can catch us tomorrow morning during our news time of the 7 and 8 o'clock hour scores from around the state of Nebraska, Class D1 and D2 football playoffs.
Enjoyed it, Cody. Thanks for letting me call the game with you. I enjoyed just kind of switching roles instead of having to call every
not
play.
Having to keep stats.
I can just take stats and provide a little color and dissect plays instead of just having to call the action. So nice to change roles for me once and to get to see the Bulldogs here on a Thursday afternoon. And we'll be back on the air with more football tomorrow night on 92.7 The Web at 6:30 and with cross-country coverage throughout the day starting at just before noon. So big thanks to all of our Bulldog sportscasters. They let us broadcast all of these Ainsworth fall and winter sports as we travel around the state to cover this Ainsworth team, including down at Kearney tomorrow at State Cross Country.
Well, for Greg Kinsey, I'm Cody Gucci. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Folks, travel safe. We'll be back with you tomorrow on KBRB Ainsworth. We send it back to the KBRB studios.